She said you wore the items and you re-tagged them.
Controversy in her consignment shop.
You had them cleaned and you put them back on the rack. You didn't like that.
Then a style showdown.
You went to get your clothes.
Correct. And we started fighting.
Someone was arrested. That would be you.
This is Judge Judy.
Victoria Paul is suing her former friend, C.C. Rocker, for the return of clothes she was selling on consignment, a false arrest, and harassment.
Order. All rise. It's case number 462 on the calendar, the matter of Paul versus Rocker.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Judge parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Mr. Paul, this is short version of what I see in the complaint and the answer. You gave on consignment some designer clothes to the defendant who had a shop.
Correct.
And you were in close proximity to her shop.
Well, I was upstairs. She was downstairs.
Give me the month and year that you gave her the clothes.
July 2019.
And then you say that you saw either the defendant or some other people wearing the clothes.
Correct.
And then having them cleaned and putting them back on for sale.
Correct.
You didn't like that. And you were upstairs. So you went downstairs on what date?
I didn't go downstairs. I sent her an email after I requested the payout information.
You never got paid for the clothes?
No.
But at some point you did go downstairs to retrieve your clothes.
Correct.
On what date was it that you went downstairs to retrieve your clothes?
Probably a week after our agreement.
So you went downstairs, and tell me what happened when you went downstairs.
Well, it was a prelude to our email. I went downstairs in response to the email of her telling me to come and get my things because she was upset that I had basically outed her on saying I've seen items that I was not paid for on other people on social media, including yourself. And these items were not in the payout agreement, but they're here being worn or sold by others. And my things are so limited, I know what belonged to my store.
Got it. So you told her you wanted them back.
Correct, or payout for it.
Well, she wasn't giving you the payout, so you went downstairs to get your clothes.
Correct.
And that was also in July. So you go downstairs, you grab your clothes, and you took them upstairs.
But not everything.
Most of the stuff.
Correct.
She got mad and came to where you were.
Correct.
You took them on the hangers. So she wanted her hangers back. And that's when the fight took place.
Yes.
And as a result of this fight, someone was arrested.
Correct.
That would be you.
Yes.
And you were arrested for assault?
Simple battery.
What happened with that case?
It was dismissed or dropped. It was never moved forward with the DA's office.
So there were no charges ever filed?
Correct.
You never appeared before a judge?
Correct.
Or did you appear before a judge?
No.
Was there a protective order issued?
No.
So what you are seeking now is for the value of the clothes, some of which have already been worn.
Correct.
For a false arrest.
Correct.
And I don't know what the harassment is. She has a counterclaim for the money owed for an assault and defamation. Okay, let's deal with that first. You're upstairs getting your hangers back.
Correct, as well as the garment that she wanted me to pay for, the duster that I was wearing. I went to retrieve both the hangers and the duster.
The what?
It's called a duster. It's like a cardigan.
I
went to retrieve the cardigan and hangers from her store upstairs.
Why that cardigan?
Because she requested that when I send her payout information to include it, when she came to pick up the clothing, she actually took it with her. So I get this all squared away.
Miss Rocker, did you ever pay her for any of the things that she gave you on consignment? Did you ever pay her any money?
No, ma'am.
Okay. She's going to show me pictures of either you or you and other people wearing the clothing that she gave you on consignment to sell.
Well,
Just a second. Now, did you allow other people to wear clothing that she had given you on consignment to sell? That's either a yes or a no.
That's correct.
So that's a yes. Now, when she gave you the clothing to sell on consignment, it was new, correct?
Not the thing that the designer wore was not new.
Just a second. Are you saying that all but one item was new?
One of the items, correct.
All but one of the items was new.
A few of them had stains, so I can't tell if they were new or not. But of the items that we're speaking upon, one was not new, but the others were.
Were new.
Correct.
Once you wore them,
Correct.
or somebody else wore them,
correct,
you understand that they're no longer new.
I do understand that.
So that they lose value.
Exactly. That's why you would put them on. Correct.
Now, did you have written authorization from her to take her new items that she had given you to sell, make them used items, and then try to sell them? Did you have that in writing from her?
In our contract, it stated that
just a second. Don't talk. Show me the contract. Then the answer is yes. Show me the contract. I want you to circle in the contract where it says that the items can be worn, and therefore circle in the contract where it says that the items can be worn and then returned to inventory and therefore must be sold as old or used. Just circle in the contract. Doesn't say that at all.
Well, it states that
it doesn't say that at all.
Her property to make that decision.
No. It doesn't say that you can wear provided to the store will now be considered the property of Created Risk Boutique for at least 30 days.
Correct.
To you, that means that you can wear it and sell it as used?
Well, no, that wasn't what I was stating at all.
Just listen. Hey, listen. My question to you is, do you have a contract that permits you to take new merchandise, make it used merchandise by wearing it, or allow others to wear it for whatever purpose, whether you say it's for advertising, whatever it is? Do you have a contract that says that? You just underlined this. This is not what it says at all.
Well, I'm not necessarily negating that part of the claim.
Fine, very good. Then she owes you for the value of the clothing. What's the value of the clothing?
$32.56.
Let me see the items, please.
The inventory list, and then here's the card.
Would she be able to return that item as well?
This is the inventory.
Some of it. It didn't all fit in her inventory control thing, and when she came into my store, I manually wrote it by hand.
Okay. Now what I'd like you to show me or tell me is about the assault that you were arrested on.
Okay, so the day that she came in...
And?
Well, Victoria sent me an email stating for me to come upstairs and grab the hangers and the duster from her. I walk upstairs, and as soon as I walk in, I was on the phone with my mother. She tells me to get off the phone with my mother so that we can have a conversation. I told her, I'm just here to get the items. I need to get back to my store. I left it unlocked. At that time, Victoria begins to get irate and tell me she's not going to give me back any hangers or anything at all. So once she gets irate, I immediately turn around and say, you know what, I'm getting out of here. My mom's in the phone. She's like, get out of there right away.
Don't tell me what your mother said.
But right away, I go to get out of the store. Victoria had huge sliding glass doors on her store. She tries to close them to keep me in the store. When she couldn't get them closed, she stands in front of me and starts pushing me back in the store, telling me that I'm not going anywhere, that this is her store, she's not giving me anything, I'm messing with the wrong girl now. And then from that point forward, we started fighting.
Okay, so she pushed you.
She pushes me. She's standing in front of me
just a second. She pushed you. And what was the next thing that happened?
She grabbed my hair.
She pushed you?
Well, we kind of were pushing each other because she was standing in front of me, you know.
She pushed you. You pushed her. Next thing that happened?
She grabbed my hair and started yanking it. And we
describe what's fighting.
We were literally fighting all over her store, like from this side to that side.
Standing up.
We were falling over the ground, tussling, pretty much all over the store. People were walking by, but no one ever stopped.
Okay. Now, I'd like to see a report of any injuries that you had.
I have the police report.
I'd like to see a report.
Well, it tells the injuries that they visibly saw as well as their medical.
And then I would like to see the medical reports that you have.
I actually didn't get the opportunity to go to the...
Not actually. Did you go to a hospital?
I did not.
Did you go to seek medical attention?
I seek the medical attention right then on the scene.
All right. So the answer is no.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't go to the doctor.
All right, then just say no.
Oh, sorry.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
Let me explain to you. If you went to buy a car, you would be making car payments, right?
Yes, Your
That
Honor.
would be correct. So let's just get some dates so you feel less terrible when you leave here.
Victoria Paul says former friend C.C. Rocker owes for the return of clothes, a false arrest, and for assault, harassment, and defamation.
Okay. So far, you owe her $3,256. Who's Watson?
I'm Watson. That is my legal name. I'm going by my professional name today.
But your name is Watson. How am I supposed to tell the difference?
Well, I'm letting you know
Just a
now
second.
that... Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're Watson.
Of course.
Okay, so the police officer noticed carpet burns on both of your knees, and she said that you had scratches to your face and arms. That's why she was arrested. Now, there's no question in my mind that she was annoying, and you prevented her from leaving because you wanted to talk to her about the clothes and what she owed you because they were worn. There's no question about that. There's no question in my mind that both of you acted badly on that day because your recourse is to come to court and sue her for the clothes, which you're
Correct.
absolutely entitled to, not to have an altercation with her. And Miss Rocker Watson, or whatever your name is, if she wants to talk to you and you go up there with your headphones on talking to your mother and say, I'm not talking to you about the clothes that I actually stole from you.
We actually had just had a
that I
conversation.
actually stole.
We had a conversation previous before I ever went up to her store in my store earlier.
Absolutely
And
did not.
just a second. And what was the conversation?
The conversation for the clothing that we had, we were speaking about her not trusting. And I was telling her, no, it's not an issue of you not trusting me or anything like that. And as we continued the conversation, she says, you stole my idea. So that's when I said, you know what, let's go ahead and dissolve our agreement. But the conversation was about the report and how I went about it. And I explained to her about advertising and
Yeah,
et cetera.
I understand,
So,
but you explained about to
Yeah.
her. What I'm telling you is you took her new clothes, you made them old clothes, and you had no right to do that.
I understand.
Well, evidently not, because what I'm telling you is there are certain things that make sense and certain things that don't make sense.
Correct.
You went upstairs to get your hangers, and you told the police that she told you to come upstairs to get your hangers.
Correct.
Right? But she also wanted to talk to you.
She didn't say that in the email.
But when you got up there,
She was very
I mean, she
aggressive.
didn't give. She
I didn't
didn't
wanna
give a
speak.
rat's behind about your hangers. You cared about your hangers.
Well, I also wanted the
You-
cardigan back so that I could
just a
pay her
second.
for it.
Yeah, she didn't care about your hangers.
Which
She
is why
wanted
she
to
didn't
talk
return them.
about $3,000 worth of merchandise.
No, she did not. Her inventory is there. It's about $1,000 in total if she would have sold
Absolutely not.
every single thing.
I wouldn't trust you.
She
Just a
went
second.
through it before
I
ever.
wouldn't trust you to sell stuff on consignment if what you did with her clothes.
She didn't.
Other people wear them, you had them cleaned, and you put them back on the rack.
But she did not ask to leave the store. I asked
Fine.
her to leave.
Fine. Now you have one opportunity to tell me about defamation.
The defamation. With the defamation, once
Don't speak.
you don't want me to tell you?
Don't speak. Yeah, well, she put this on. She said you wore the items and you re-tagged them. That's true. And then, I don't know what this is.
That is actually from
I
the
don't know what
witness
this
statement.
is.
That's a message that she actually posted in December saying that I'm a con artist and a scammer and things like that. She posted that
Just
this
a second,
past
I
week.
gave you thousands of dollars of inventory to sell. Bare store with no money up front. You'd rather wear the clothes and dry clean and put them back on for sale. Shame on you. That's not defamation. It's all true.
That I'm a scammer and a con artist. but I
Judgment,
still-
Yes, ma'am.
I still
judgment for
have
the
a store.
plaintiff in the amount of $3,256. We're finished. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The only reason it turned into this is because Victoria attacked me.
We won the case, and that's all I really wanted was justice for my store.
Some people, they just can't help when you do better than them.
Do not judge a book by its cover. She looked slim and sweet, but she was the snake and sour.
In the matter of Walsh versus Mackey,
Step forward.
Kirsten Walsh is suing her former roommate, Christopher Mackey, for the return of money for a car.
So, Miss Walsh, this is relatively simple. You and the defendant lived together. You were a couple. He wanted to buy a new car, but he had another car. You needed a car. And according to you, you made arrangements with him that you would take over the payments on his old car. And once you finished paying off the loan on the car, he would transfer the title to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you drove the car. You're going to tell me for how long. And then the two of you broke up, and you took the car. He said, I want my car back because car's in my name. If you have an accident, I'm responsible. If you get a ticket, I'm responsible. If you hit somebody, I'm responsible. And now we're not a couple anymore, right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And you said, no, I've been making payments on this car, and I want you to give me back all the money that I paid for the car.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
My question to you is, do you want to give him $10,000? If that's what's left on the loan, you pay him $10,000, he'll give you the car. Am I correct?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Absolutely. Your choice.
Real cases, real people.
Is suing her former roommate, Christopher Mackey, for the return of money for a car.
Now, let me explain to you. If you went to buy a car, you would be making car payments, right?
Yes, Your
That
Honor.
would be correct. And you'd have to put down a down payment. That would also be correct. Correct?
Typically, yes, Your Honor.
He didn't ask you for a down payment, did he?
No, Your Honor.
No. Okay. So let's just get some dates so you feel less terrible when you leave here. From when to when did you live together?
We moved in together, Your Honor, in October of 2019.
And when did you leave?
I moved out on December 31st.
And when did you make this arrangement with the car?
It was in September of 2019.
How many car payments did you make?
I made 5 car payments, Your Honor.
And how much was each of the car payments?
$400.
Before you took over the car payments from him, did you own a vehicle?
Yes, Your Honor.
What kind of car?
2014 Jeep Cherokee.
What did you do with it?
I was driving it when it was working. When it was non-operational, I was driving the Hyundai.
Well, where is it now?
It's operational at this time, Your Honor, and I've been driving it.
So what you're telling me is you kept 2 cars.
Yes, Your Honor.
What did you do, get it fixed?
Yes, Your Honor. I've been paying for the repairs on my Jeep.
Okay, well, that's a good idea. Now, the Jeep you bought for cash?
I've been making payments on it monthly. I have it financed through a $650 a month.
So $400 a month, you understand $400 a month would be a bargain.
Yes.
Right. So why would you think if you drove his car for 5 months that you're entitled to all the money back?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, what's left on the car?
I still owe about $10,000, Your Honor, with
Do you
interest.
want to give him $10,000? My question to you is, do you want to give him $10,000? If that's what's left on the loan, you pay him $10,000, he'll give you the car. Am I correct?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Absolutely. It's up to you. Your choice. He doesn't want you to pay off the car, and I absolutely believe he's 100% right. He doesn't want any responsibility. You're not a couple anymore. If you have an accident, if you drop the insurance, whatever it is, he doesn't want to just be a lien holder on this car. He wants it out of his name. Do you want to give him, in order to fulfill the contract, $10,000 now?
At this point, no, Your Honor.
Then your case is dismissed. We're done. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step.
And on the next Judge Judy.
Their dog reached to the fence and bit our dog on the nose.
Pictures speak louder than words.
What the defendants have here is compelling evidence to me.
Next Judge Judy.
Now I don't have the money that I put in to purchase the car, nor do I have a car.
I feel that the judgment was fair.
Our relationship fell apart after I caught him in lies.
It's handled, and I can move on.
Don't trust men.
Be careful who you trust, and don't let anyone take advantage of it.
You thought it would be fun to start a YouTube channel.
A quest for fame becomes a fight.
It was his idea to start the channel.
This channel was never my channel. It's always been her channel.
Now who's the one?
Wow.
putting on a show.
He wasn't paying me half for all of the things that I put into the channel to start off.
Well, what she doesn't understand is this was her first priority. This YouTube channel was her first priority. It's not my first priority.
This is Judge Judy. Keshwan Clark is suing her former friend, Corey Ingram, for the cost of props to start their YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's case number 48 on the calendar.
Thank you, Bird. Miss Clark, you and the defendant were friends, according to you, for a very long time. And according to you, you thought it would be fun to start a YouTube channel. I don't know what that is or what it's supposed to do.
So a YouTube channel, you post videos on there for... It's content for fans to see. The videos could be comedic skits, vlogs, anything like that.
And how do you make money doing that?
We haven't made money from it yet, so for you to make money from it, you have to have a lot of people watch your videos. So you have to have a lot of subscribers, and your views have to be extremely high. You get like, after 1 million views, I think you get like 5 cents per view.
When did you start this YouTube channel?
It was March 4th, 2018.
2018?
Yes, 2018 is when we started our YouTube channel, yes.
Great. And in order to start the YouTube channel, you had to buy certain equipment. Is that right?
Yes.
In order to start it, tell me what equipment you had to buy.
So for our YouTube channel, I purchased the camera, the massage wand, the camera bag, the reflector, the mic, the photo stand, the electric muscle stimulator. Those are all the things that I purchased for the channel.
Okay. And that was 2.5 years ago.
All of these weren't purchased 2 years ago. Some of them were purchased 2 years ago. And
yes. Then you didn't answer my question. I said, what items did you purchase in order to start?
Yes, to start the channel.
You needed, don't look down. What did you need to start the YouTube channel in March of 2018? Did you need a camera?
Yes.
Did you need lights?
Yes, we did.
Did you need props?
To start the channel, yes.
And all of those things you needed in order to start it, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So those things were bought 2.5 years ago, if they were bought to start it.
Yes.
Now, according to what I read in your complaint and in his answer, you stopped making these videos in June of 2020.
Yes, that's true.
Why?
We stopped making the videos because he wasn't putting in his part. He wasn't paying me half for all of the things that I put into the channel to start off. And as our YouTube channel went on, I felt myself having to force him to film videos. He didn't come up with much of any ideas. This YouTube channel was his to start. It was his idea to start the channel. I just helped out by purchasing a majority of the things that I knew we needed to start the channel.
Yeah, that's what you memorized. That's in your complaint. So for 2.5 years, you worked together to make videos, and when COVID became a problem, it wasn't so easy making videos outside. Be a fair statement?
Yes, but yes.
Is that your problem?
Yeah, during COVID,
Did you
yes.
continue to make videos? Did you continue to make videos inside?
Yes.
In March, April, May, did you continue to make videos inside?
Yes, in my home.
I assume that if you were doing that, then you had people watching you.
Yes. We still do.
The two of you did it together in your home?
Yes, in my home, yes.
So did the defendant come to your home to make the videos?
Yes, we were never at his house to make any content. It was always at my house.
All I asked you was, did the defendant come to your house to make the videos?
Yes, ma'am.
And who do you live with?
I live with my parents.
Okay. So it was just you, your parents, and the defendant.
And the house is also my 2 sisters.
Now, where did Corey live?
Corey lives in Vista, so he's 7 minutes from my house. I live in Oceanside.
And he came to your house, according to what I'm putting together, at least through June.
Yes.
How did he get to your house?
He drove his own car to get to my house.
What kind of a car does he have?
I'm not sure the brand of car.
What kind of a car do you have?
I have a Chevy Malibu 2015.
What kind of a car did you drive to the studio today?
The Chevy Malibu 2015.
And what kind of a car?
His gray car?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Yes, his car.
And when was the last time prior to today that you saw Mr. Ingram?
It's been a couple months. I haven't seen him in a couple months since our last video.
And exactly what date was your last video?
It's June 12th, I think. I'm not sure of the exact day, but I know it's June.
And what happened, Mr. Ingram, at that last video? You want to tell me?
Yeah, it was a reaction video to a music video. that she wanted to do. This channel was never my channel. It's always been her channel. I don't know why she tries to say it's mine.
Don't go off on a tangent with me, please.
Got it.
I asked you what it was about.
A reaction video.
And can you tell me why it is that, having been working closely together in what you referred to as a we project, the last video we made, which is what you say in your answer, tell me what happened on June 12th that caused you and the plaintiff not to see each other again?
Well, what she doesn't understand is this was her first priority. This YouTube channel was her first priority. It's not my first priority.
Just a second. That's not what I asked you. Don't tell me what she has to understand.
Okay.
Don't tell me what she knows. Don't tell me what she thinks. Just tell me what happened on June 12th that caused two people who had been working together for 2.5 years to stop speaking. We're now in speaking.
Life got in the way. So I was going to school at the time. I was going to work. I was also going to the gym. Before this, to better my life, before this, I was super skinny. I was unhappy. Every time we'd film a video, I saw myself on camera and I was like, wow, you are disgusting. I don't like the way I looked. So I was my own bully in my head.
So you were the subject of some of the videos?
Correct.
Was the plaintiff also subject of the videos?
Yes.
What about her siblings? Were they the subjects of the videos?
No, not at all.
What about her parents? Were they ever the subjects or in the videos?
Her parents were in one video, and it was like a who knows me better type video, mom or best friend.
It was never posted. And yes, I've had my older sister was in one of our videos. Sorry.
You're interrupting.
Sorry.
Now, from March of 2018 until June 12th of 2020, when did the plaintiff ask you for any money towards the video equipment?
She's never asked me for any money.
That she had purchased?
She's never asked her for any money.
Okay.
Wow.
So, Miss Clark, between March of 2018 and June of 2012, what proof do you have that you asked him to pay any part of this video equipment?
I don't have that. He would go half and half with me on this channel. That's why I bought all of the things I bought. And this channel was his idea.
I think you should sell the equipment. Sell it.
I can't sell it.
You have the most ridiculous countersuit. Your ridiculous countersuit, sir, says you want some of your props back. Your life is too busy for props for a video.
Right.
You go to school. Don't speak. You go to school, you work out, you have a job, you have things. You don't have any use
of these
for props.
Correct.
Do you understand?
Right.
Good. We're done. Case dismissed. We're finished. Goodbye. Arrivederci. Sayonara. Goodbye.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
This was his channel. It was his idea. That's why it's called Corey and Casey. It's not called Casey and Corey. It was his idea.
Our very first YouTube video we ever made, the question was, why did you guys want to start this channel? And I said, well, I wanted to start because you wanted to start. Why did you want to start?
We're doing a lot of pranks, a lot of reaction videos, a lot of ratchet videos. Whatever they asked for, the audience asked for, we made.
Well, we were been told that we have a really good personality together. People like us together. And so she's more rambunctious and she's more out there. She loves the social media atmosphere.
Nothing. I had to basically beg him to come to my house to film content for his channel that he wanted us to do.
I had other priorities that hit way above this YouTube channel.
Nothing.
So I was, like I say, going to school, I was going to work, I was going to the gym, to better myself, to make my life better. And I can't just help her without helping myself first.
I mean, I don't want to throw our friendship away over some videos, but I still want to keep the channel going if he's willing to actually put in some effort and pay me back at least something.
I mean, the friendship should continue. She's just not allowed to go anywhere near my wallet.
All parties in the matter of Shoemaker versus Aragon. Step to the podium, please.
23-year-old Karina Schumacher is suing her former roommate, 23-year-old Christine Aragon, for the return of her security deposit, damaged property, and stolen eyelashes.
Ms. Schumacher, do you go to school? Is that what you do?
Yes, I go to UCSD.
You go to school?
I go to UCSD.
And Miss Aragon, you're a student as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you were living in an apartment with other students?
Yes. Yes.
How many other students, Miss Schumacher?
4.
And did you sign a lease?
Yes, we did.
On what date did you sign the lease?
October 29, 2019.
And when did the lease expire?
At the end of June in 2020.
The defendant was your roommate. You're alleging 3 things. I'm going to get to them in relatively short order. It is your claim that in November of last year, almost a year ago, the defendant took a package that belonged to you, stole it, but inadvertently took this package that contained eyelashes that you had ordered.
Yes, Your Honor. I ordered eyelashes in November.
I don't care. Just look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I don't care about your eyelashes. Do you have her eyelashes?
Yes, Your Honor, I have her eyelashes. I have them with me.
Give them to her.
Okay.
Give them to her.
Okay.
Give them to her.
Okay.
That would be a now.
Okay. I did bring them, Your Honor.
No, but they're outside.
Is somebody going to bring the eyelashes?
We'll wait. Go get the eyelashes. We'll wait.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
In September, when this happened, you said you charged her. What did you charge her?
I charged her $60, though it originally cost me $80.
Stop. Who cares? What is wrong with you?
Karina Schumacher says former roommate Christine Aragon owes for a security deposit and property damage caused by her dog.
Now, do you have her eyelashes?
Yes, Your Honor, I have the eyelashes with me now.
Now you have your eyelashes back. Cause of action number 1, resolved. Cause of action number 2, did you damage her vacuum cleaner?
No, Your Honor, I did not. She accuses my dog of damaging things, but I'm a student too. I was studying finals.
Just a second.
Oh, sorry.
All I'm asking you is, did you knowingly damage her vacuum cleaner?
No, Your Honor.
Objection, Your Honor. I have evidence here.
Just don't speak to me unless I'm asking you a question. How was your vacuum cleaner broken?
The cord of the vacuum was chewed up by her dog.
Did you see that?
No, but I do have a picture
of the chewed up cord
in her room.
I'd like to see that.
Yes.
Okay. And on what date was the cord chewed through?
September 26, 2019. I also have a second vacuum.
And what did you just a second. Did you get it fixed?
No, it was completely ruined, so I just charged her for part of the full amount, the amount that it cost me.
Hey. In September, when this happened, you said you charged her. What did you charge
her? $60, though it originally cost me $80.
Stop. Who cares? What is wrong with you? You took the $60 from
No,
her.
she never paid me.
Just a second. I thought you said you took money from her.
No.
You didn't.
I asked her.
Did she ask you for the money for the vacuum cleaner?
Your Honor, yes, she accused my dog of breaking it, but there are other animals on the lease too. My roommate has a big dog, and Karina even brought in 2 rats into the apartment, and one of the rats crawled from her apartment to my room that I share with my roommate.
Okay.
And it died on the pillow.
Just stop.
Yeah, sorry.
I know you have a story that you want to tell me. I have to tell you, ladies, I am so disinterested in this case, but I'm going to get through it for the sake of getting it resolved.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Where did you get them from?
My ex-boyfriend, he had a snake and he was going to feed them to it, and I decided to take care of them, but they ended up dying because they're just feeder mice.
Your Honor, my roommate slept on those rats.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Karina Schumacher says former roommate Christine Aragon owes caused by her dog.
Now, forget the vacuum cleaner. The next cause of action is money owed for the return of security deposit, because you say that her dog caused damage resulting in them keeping your security deposit.
Yes.
How much was your security deposit?
It was originally $200, but I'm only charging her $129 because I am paying for part of the cleaning fee of the apartment.
Did they keep your security deposit?
Yes, Your Honor. Nobody got their security deposit back.
Just answer my questions. I'm not really interested in all your nonsense. You moved out in March, is that correct? Because of COVID, Miss Aragon. School closed down in March?
We moved out June 2020, Your Honor.
I thought you said in your complaint that she moved out in March.
Yes, she moved out earlier. She went back home because of COVID. She came back occasionally to to the apartment, but she moved out.
Did she pay rent?
Yes.
Did you pay rent?
Yes, I did. I have my rent receipt.
Okay, just a second. I didn't ask you for the rent receipts. I just asked you if you paid your rent through June. Now, everybody lost their security deposit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Ms. Schumacher?
We lost the security deposit because of carpet, of a video.
Okay, just a second.
Okay.
There were 4 girls in the apartment?
Yes.
How many dogs were in the apartment?
There were 2. One of them was under the leash.
How many? Just a second. There were 2. How many rats were in the apartment?
There were none.
There were 2 rats, Your Honor.
Just a second. Did you have, at any time during the course of it's very easy, all I have to do is call up one of the other girls. Did you have any pet rodents in the house? That's either a yes or a no.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
How many rats were in the apartment?
There were none.
There were 2 rats, Your Honor.
Just a second. Did you have, at any time during the course of it's very easy, all I have to do is call up one of the other girls. Did you have any pet rodents in the house? That's either a yes
2 mice
or a no.
For a month in a cage.
So the answer is yes. What did they look like?
They were white, and they had red eyes.
Where did you get them from?
My ex-boyfriend, he did to take care of them because the snake didn't end up eating them, but they ended up dying because they're just feeder mice.
Your Honor, my roommate slept on those rats.
They were kept in a cage.
Are you still doing school virtually?
Yes.
What about you, Miss Aragon?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you living at home?
Currently, yes, I'm at home. I'm in a house now with my roommates that she lived with before, and we're all friends and we're on good terms.
Objection.
So you are not at home with family, you're with 2 other roommates.
I'm at home with family as of right now, but my house is with those 2 roommates from before. We're renting it together.
You have a lease with them?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, I don't understand. Are you living with your parents or do you have this house?
This is a house that we're renting. We have a lease with my roommates.
Who's we?
Me and our previous roommates from before.
And where are you living?
I am living in a new apartment near campus.
With whom?
2 of my friends.
Good, very good. Okay, I assume that you have an awful lot of time because going to school virtually gives you probably a lot of extra time, which is why I have to see you today. Your case is dismissed. We're finished. Goodbye. Goodbye. Adios. Farewell.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
An exceptionally bright woman.
All I want to do is see the evidence. I don't want you to tell me how bright I am. Actually, I already know that.
Judge Judy.
I think this was all based out of pettiness. She complains about my dog, but the fact is there were other animals on the leash. She completely ignored her rats that were on there too.
Her dog was not on the lease. On the lease, it says that any dogs that are not emotional support animals or service animals cannot be in the apartment. And her dog was not.
And none of these eyelashes or lost vacuum was an issue until the move out statement.
As well as all the damages to the vacuums and the eyelashes that she stole from me that she never paid me back for.
It's just crazy to me. Everybody split the bill. We're all in the lease. We're all responsible, as it says in the contract, and she just does not agree and does not want to pay.
For asking her to potty train her dog.
No, they did not. She's just accusing my dog of everything, and it's just like, I honestly thought like it was just to the extreme.
Pick your roommates better.
It's just crazy to me. I still can't believe that I'm here right now and that she actually did take me to court over some eyelashes and a vacuum. But I mean, I'm here right now and everything is a lesson, definitely.
This case reads as almost a mini-series.
From Matchmaker.
The friend that you brought over and the defendant developed an affection for each other.
To Minister.
When I got myself ordained on January 1st, I thought I was helping out.
And after the reception.
A fraudulent wedding.
Deception.
He refused to sign the marriage certificate.
Why didn't you sign it?
This is Judge Judy. James Potts is suing his former landlord, April McDermott, for car expenses and the return of his security deposit.
Judge, this is case number 64 on the calendar in the matter of Potts versus McDermott. Parties have been sworn in. Gentlemen, have a seat, please.
Mr. Potts, this case reads a little bit from your complaint and from Ms. McDermott's answer as almost a mini-series. From what I gather, you rented a guest house on Miss McDermott's property. In what year did you do that, sir?
2019, Your Honor.
And you are a veteran.
Yes, ma'am.
And from what I gather from your complaint, the Veterans Affairs paid not only some of the rent, but also paid the security deposit for the first several months you were there. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
How many months did the VA pay rent?
They paid for June, November.
June,
So-
July, August, September. What about October?
October also, I'm sorry.
And November. So the VA paid for 6 months.
That's correct.
And the security deposit.
Correct.
Just give me the month in 2019 that you moved in.
June.
June. And when did you move out?
I moved out February 4th of 2020.
So December and January, just follow me, were the only 2 months that you personally were responsible for rent.
That's correct.
Did you pay December's rent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did he pay December's rent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you pay January's rent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did he pay January's rent?
No, Your Honor.
How much did you pay in January?
In January, I started paying the rent in December.
Just no.
Okay.
Tell me, Mr. Potts, let's not play with each other. You know, I'm smart.
Yes, you are.
May not be youthful and lithe anymore, but I am smart. How much did you pay for January's rent?
The total was about $900 because I started paying December's rent in November, and between
How much did you pay in January? If you can't give me an answer, I'm going to ask her.
I did.
How much did you pay in January?
In January, I paid about $800, I believe it was.
How much did he pay in January?
$150.
Yeah. And you moved out in February.
February 4th.
And the total rent was $1,200 a month. So you paid $1,200 in December. So you paid a total in rent for this guest house of $1,350. Now, while you were there, two things happened while you were living in the guest house. First, you brought a friend over to visit you, and the friend that you brought over and the defendant developed an affection for each other and decided to get married. They asked you, because I assume they felt that you were the reason that they found each other, if you would get ordained as a minister so that you could perform the ceremony, and you could do that online. Also correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
In what month did you become an ordained person so that you could perform their wedding ceremony?
That was in January of 2020.
Just for my own purposes, would you explain the process to me, how that works? Do you have to fill out forms? Do you have to pay a fee? What do you have to do? And
I went on.
How did you find it?
I did a little bit of research, did online ordinations. You apply, there's no fee, and you become ordained.
And did you do that?
I did that.
And did you get a certificate?
I did, Your Honor.
Do you have it?
I do.
I'd like to see it because that's part of her counterclaim. Okie dokie. And when did you perform the ceremony?
That was on January 23rd, Your Honor.
Also, in addition to doing this mitzvah of putting these two lovely people together, that means a good deed, putting these two people together, you also bought from the defendant a used car for $1,000. Also correct?
Also correct, Your Honor.
What kind of car was it?
A 2005 Chevrolet Classic.
So you bought a 15-year-old car from her?
Yes.
For $1,000?
Yes, Your Honor.
In what month did you buy the car?
I purchased the vehicle in August. Your Honor, if I may?
Yes.
In July, the vehicle was sitting undriven, and I noticed that the tags were expired, so I offered as a show of faith, because I'd had an issue with the car. It was disabled. I offered in a show of faith to pay for the registration to make the registration correct.
I heard the story. You're a person of very good faith. You ultimately purchased this car from her for $1,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's another part of your lawsuit. So you want two things. You want your security deposit back, which was $1,200. She acknowledges that she got the security deposit of $1,200. Her defense to that is you didn't pay the security deposit. The VA paid the security deposit, so you shouldn't get the security deposit back, even though there was no damage to the apartment. And you owed money for the month of January for rent, for which she used part of the security deposit. That's your defense to the security deposit portion, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Trying to simplify this mini-series so that it doesn't become a tome. The second part of your lawsuit is, while you bought this 15-year-old car that was being not driven with expired tags, you say that this woman is so misguided or damaged that she agreed to pay for any mechanical trouble you had with the car, and you had mechanical trouble with the car, which cost you thousands, which you want her to be responsible for. That's the second part of your law.
Vehicle or in lieu of receipt of the title, which I've never received.
Why don't you go and get the title? Did you give him a bill of sale? Did you give him a bill of sale?
I have the bill of sale, Your Honor. After I would refuse to give him the $1,200 back, he also refused to sign the marriage certificate. He wouldn't pick up the bill of sale or the title.
Just a second. Do you have it with you?
I do.
The bill of sale?
Yes.
Give it to him. Now get a title. Now you have the bill of sale. Could you put that bill of sale up there on the evidence desk so I can see it? Take down your ministry. Okay, that's dated September 20th, 2019. Okay. We're going to need some more specificity on that. You're going to have to put on that, Miss McDermott, the VIN number on the car. Do you have anything else? Do you have the title to the car? Are you the registered owner of the car?
Yes, Your Honor, I have the title. My mother was the registered owner, but she signed it over to me and also included a letter that she went with Mr. Potts to the DMV to pay the back registration so that the car would be not taken for unpaid registration, and he was supposed to turn the registration over to his name.
You want to give him the title to the car?
Yes.
Now he has all of that and the car. She's not paying for your repairs, sir. You understand that?
I do understand.
Okay.
Your Honor.
And Your Honor?
Perfect. And you what?
He drove the unregistered vehicle in my mother's name to a casino and received...
No, just a sec. Just a sec.
Okay.
Come up. We haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
Right now, I'm taking care of Mr. Potts.
Okay.
Who, his 2 months' rent that he should have paid for the 2 months that he was there is $2,400. He paid a total of $1,350, which means that he owes you $1,050.
Your Honor, I have a detail of what I paid for December and January.
Your Honor, if I may?
You're going to have to show me, sir, what you paid in total, because the VA paid up until through November. So it's December and January.
They paid a
December and January. No, they paid.
They paid a graduated amount. I was partially responsible for the rent from August, September, October, and November.
How much did you pay her?
My share was $300, $400, $500, and $600, I believe, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
No, Your Honor. In December, when they stopped...
Just a second. Were you getting a check from the VA?
They start out paying the full amount of $1,200. As the months progress, they start paying less, and he starts paying a portion. December, they stopped paying altogether. He was struggling. We lowered the rent to $850. I gave him every 2 weeks when he got paid to pay $425. He did not follow through with that. I have the return of deposit here showing exactly what monies he owes and the total of what was used from the deposit.
Okay, now this is where you're in trouble, Miss McDermott. We are eliminating, he had $1,200 in a deposit. I'm eliminating the $60 cleaning fee. Rent owed on 127 not paid, $425. Per lease, extra money for an extra person, I'm not bothering with that. If he had somebody else living there and you let that happen, let it happen. And by the way, it couldn't have bothered you that much because you let him marry you in January, right?
Right.
Rent rebate to take money on a cruise that he did not use, came back on a cruise and borrowed money from family and friends. That's ridiculous.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
They paid the security deposit. He's a veteran. Between the two of you, he has more of a right to that money, certainly, than you do as a stranger.
James Potts says his former landlord, April McDermott, is withholding his security deposit and the title to a car he bought from her. April is countersuing James for an unpaid parking ticket and for performing a fraudulent wedding.
Okay, so he owes you $425 for rent. Deducting that, that leaves $785. You gave him back nothing. Is that right? You gave him back nothing.
No.
Okay, so you owe him $785 for his security deposit. Because while it may be true that the VA paid the security deposit, he's a veteran. I assume you're not.
No.
That was a benefit that he got. That between the two of you, he has more of a right to that money, certainly, than you do as a stranger.
Sure.
And the Veterans Administration may come back to you one day and say to you, sir, you owe us $785 from the security deposit that we paid for you. But right now, as between the two of you, it's your money.
Your Honor, the VA told me that when I move out, the deposit would be
just
mine.
a second. Just a second.
Okay.
Just a second.
I'm sorry.
I just said that to you, and you can't tell me what the VA said to you. That's hearsay.
Okay.
I've deducted the rent that you owe her.
Okay, I have a detail. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Okay.
I have a detail of the monies that I did pay.
Go. Go.
It's on the bottom here.
What's on the bottom there?
For December, the rent that I paid on November 18th was
Now I'm
$400.
talking about for all the months. My share, $400.
Right.
Said you took $100, paid $300. Okay, $785. We're done. That's what you get. Now let's get to your counterclaim. Parking tickets. When Mr. Potts had the car, is your claim that he got 2 parking tickets that were your responsibility and or your mother's responsibility? Do you have proof of those parking tickets?
Yes, Your Honor. It was just one ticket.
How much?
$200.
Did you pay it?
No, ma'am.
You did not pay it?
No, ma'am.
Who paid it?
It is not paid.
It's almost a year old, and it's not for you anyway. It's in the name of Joyce McDermott. That's your mother.
My mother.
Well, that's unfortunate for your mother. $785. Now, the other part of your counterclaim is a fraudulent wedding. After this kerfuffle that you had with the defendant, Mr. Potts, about the rent, and I assume that kerfuffle over rent, did you not sign their marriage certificate?
I was offered by the defendant to trade the title to the vehicle for my signature. In the ensuing time frame, I did a little bit of research myself because when they had asked me to perform the ceremony, she told me that Richard would do the research and they would pay all the fees. So when I got myself ordained on January 1st, I thought I was helping out. And then after I had moved out and I was doing a little bit of research.
There were no fees.
There was a fee required by the County of San Diego for a deputy marriage commissioner for a day that I didn't find out about until I believe it was the end of March, well after the ceremony. So the fee, the $80 fee, so I could not legally sign the document.
Your Honor, he did not know that at the time. The marriage was in January and the document was never signed.
Yeah, I know it was never signed, but even if he signed it, it wouldn't have been legitimate, is what he's saying.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You have an ethical and moral obligation not to extort something in exchange for signing the marriage certificate.
I was not extorting, Your Honor.
Why didn't you sign it?
Judge Judy. James Potts is accusing his former landlord, April McDermott, of withholding his security deposit and the title to a car he bought from her.
Now, did you and your mate subsequently marry?
We are scheduled to marry again on November 13th of this year.
Where?
Las Vegas.
And you have that all set up?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. With somebody who is licensed to perform weddings?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have family and friends coming?
One daughter and son-in-law.
Was anyone there?
14 family members that came from Arizona and California. We all went on a cruise directly after the ceremony, and that's why the original was not signed that day.
Who went?
My fiance,
the plaintiff,
and all of our family members. We paid for a cruise for 3 days to Mexico for everybody, 16 people.
Did you pay, sir?
No, Your Honor, I did not.
They took you. They took you as a guest.
Yes, Your Honor, along with the other 14.
I don't care about anybody else. Whether they're other family members, you're not a family member. They took you as a guest. When did she ask you to sign the marriage license? On what date?
When I asked her for the title to my car, I have that.
On what
here.
date?
I believe the first time that she asked was...
Where did that conversation take place?
In text, Your Honor.
May I see them?
You may.
I actually think that that was pretty nasty, Mr. Potts, not to sign the marriage certificate. You had nice people. You lived in a nice guest house, practically for free, with the VA picking up the majority of the tab. They were nice people. They took you on a vacation. They paid for it.
They didn't ask me if I wanted to go. I'd never wanted to go on a cruise, Your Honor.
Well, I think, sir, that you have an ethical and moral obligation, if you sign on to officiate at a wedding, not to extort something in exchange for signing the marriage certificate.
I was not extorting, Your Honor.
Why didn't you sign it?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, why didn't you sign it? In February. Just tell me why you didn't sign it in February.
Because in February...
Give me the reason.
When she was in Hawaii, she would give me my title when she got back. When I asked her for the deposit and the title...
Why didn't you sign the marriage certificate the first time? You're supposed to sign it the day of the marriage.
Right, Your Honor.
I'm an officiant. I have performed hundreds of weddings in my lifetime as a judge. The day of the wedding, the day that I perform the ceremony, I sign it, I put it in an envelope, I put a stamp on it, and the first thing I do is to put it in a mailbox. So I'm certain that I have fulfilled my obligation. Why didn't you do that?
Your Honor, this was my first ceremony ever. I was just ordained on January 1st, as you know.
Good. That just cost you $785. Your case is dismissed. We're done. Thank you very much. I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy in Vegas.
Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
What did you find when you got there?
My car on top of 9 fence posts and chain link fence wrapped underneath of it.
He says he wasn't even there. It doesn't get easier. It's just going to get harder.
Judge Judy.
I believe she was a fair judge. I don't believe she was being really fair this time. A lot of details that were not brought out.
I do feel that there was some stuff I didn't get to address as well, but she did the best she can.
I told her I was going to be late with the rent.
Well, he's a gambler.
I was having a problem getting it.
He had gambled the money away that he was supposed to pay the rent with.
I was going to go and get the rent when she told me to get out.
And I had just had it at that point.
I don't know if it was fair, but I felt that that was an appropriate response to how I was being treated.
That was my mistake. I should have had it signed right away, directly after the marriage, so I take that on my own shoulders.
The virus sparked an idea.
When COVID struck, you decided to branch out on your own and have a mobile beauty salon.
Then she got in a tangle.
How did she defame you?
With her former salon.
She displayed on Facebook that I owed her $1,200.
You filed the restraining order against her because she threatened to put a gun to your head.
This is Judge Judy. Hairdresser Sean T. Jackson Washington is suing salon owner Lucretia Munns for defamation of character and loss of business.
Judge, this is case number 52. Parties have been sworn in. Ladies can have a seat.
Thank you. Miss Washington, you're a hairdresser.
Yes.
And so is the defendant, correct?
Yes.
For some time, you rented a chair in the defendant's salon. When did you start renting a chair to do your work in her salon?
It was around a year and a half ago.
How much did you pay her? Did you pay her per week, per month?
$100 a week.
And Miss Munn, do you own the salon or do you lease it from someone else?
I own the business, but I lease the shopping center where my salon stands.
That's what it's your business, I understand that, but the premises is not a premises that you own, you lease it.
Correct.
How long have you leased the premises and from whom?
For 2 years from Jake's Plaza. The landlord's name is Abraham.
How much do you pay in rent?
$1,200.
And I assume you have a lease.
Yes, I do.
When does that lease expire?
It goes month to month. It started month to month in April.
April of 2020, it started to go month to month. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Prior to the governor of California shutting down because of the pandemic all beauty salons, was Miss Washington paying her $100 a week on a regular basis?
She sure was.
And the governor closed beauty salons very close to the time when your lease was up in the salon.
Yes.
And you were going month to month.
Correct.
Did you pay rent to Jake's Plaza for the salon in April of 2020?
I paid it in June for April. Yes.
That's not what I asked you. You did not pay it in April.
No, I did not pay it in April.
Did you pay rent to Jake's in May?
No, I did not pay it in May.
Then the governor allowed salons to open.
Correct. For 2 weeks.
Did you pay anything in June?
Yes.
How much?
$3,600.
Did the governor permit salons to remain open?
No. He shut them down 2 weeks later.
And that's after you had paid up your rent?
Correct.
Because you hadn't paid rent in April and May. He or Jake's Plaza was not going to let you back into the building unless you made up the rent.
Right.
Right?
Correct.
Okay. Now we're all set on that. Now, it is your claim that when COVID struck, you decided that it was a perfect opportunity for you to try to branch out on your own and have a mobile beauty salon.
Yes.
Very inventive, very smart. It is your claim that the defendant has a couple of items that you left behind.
Yes.
Some hair extensions.
Yes.
No, she didn't leave any extensions.
Yes. Now, did you have an opportunity to go into the salon and take your items? The answer is yes.
Yes.
And I assume that you had a lot of items there because you were working there.
I didn't have a lot of items. Basically, the things that I had was underneath my station.
And where were these extensions?
The extensions were in a bag that was under next to, inside of the salon.
Where?
They were next to a microwave that was in a cabinet underneath.
That's my hair. She's not telling the truth.
Just a second. You should have taken them. Do you have her hair extensions?
No, I do not. I sell
hair. Hair extensions? No. You should have taken them when you left. Okay. The next part of your lawsuit is defamation of character.
Yes.
How did she defame you?
Facebook is where you advertise your business. You have thousands of people who are your friends on Facebook, and whatever.
I don't have 1,000. Just a second. So listen to me. I know what Facebook is.
Okay.
I don't have 1,000 friends. That's why I'm not on Facebook. You know, it would get very lonely in there with the 1 or 2 people that like me and that I like. So I communicate with thousands of people who watch you on Facebook. My question was a simple one. How did she defame you? What did she say, and in what venue did she say it?
She displayed on Facebook that I owed her $1,200 in booth rent.
Never.
And she had all these stylists and different people commenting. I have...
Just 1 second. May I see what you're complaining about?
Yes.
Because what she says is you owe her $1,200 in booth rent, and I would assume that that's booth rent after the governor had closed the salon and you were not paying rent.
No,
but
still...
after June, when you started to pay rent, and you did make up your rent. So I would, let me see, I have to do a Karnak. Anybody know who Karnak was? What's in this envelope?
No.
I would assume that these Facebook posts were made sometime after June.
Yes, they were actually made on the 13th of September.
Of September?
Yes.
Oh, she must have been very angry. Okay.
Yes.
May I see that, please? Yeah. Well, you know, just like you stiffed your landlord, she did the same to you. That's
Well,
exactly what
actually-
you're complaining about.
Okay. This is her question on Facebook. And
okay, just a second. This question is for independent hair salons. Is that what you're complaining about? Where she defamed you?
No, I have 18 pages.
Show me where she defamed you on Facebook.
These are all Facebook.
She rented out rooms. Where is your name in there?
She never said my name because she knew proper protocol on Facebook. However, I do have a witness here that read what she put on Facebook. She called me.
May I see your name anywhere?
She knew not to say my name, and she told her witnesses not to say my name.
Okay, that's dismissed. We have nothing. Let's get to your counterclaim. Ms. Munns, this is your counterclaim. You say that she filed a restraining order against you that had no basis.
No basis at all, Your Honor.
Miss Washington, pay attention.
I'm paying attention.
Did you file a restraining order against her? The answer is yes.
Yes, because I have a Facebook.
Filed the restraining order against her because she threatened to put a gun to your head.
Yes, she put.
That's what you say?
Yes.
Did she say that to you?
No,
personally?
She said it
or did
on
she
Facebook.
write it somewhere? I'd like to see it.
Okay.
I speak the truth. If anyone thought they could sneak up on my husband, I'm pressing something upside the head. Okay, you felt threatened by that. Is that what you're telling me?
I felt threatened by everything that she said, from calling my husband and fake on Facebook.
Okay.
I have my witness here that read it on Facebook, and she knew, along with the 4 people on my voicemail, that she was talking about me and my husband.
Miss Washington.
Yes.
Pay attention. We're finished with your lawsuit. I've dismissed that lawsuit.
All right.
Now I'm on her counterclaim. Her counterclaim is that you filed a false protective order against her. Your defense is that while she was careful on Facebook not to mention you by name, you believed she was talking about you when she threatened to telling me.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So, Ms. Munns, I'm going to deal with the part of your counterclaim that deals with filing a false restraining order. That's dismissed.
Why is that dismissed?
I'm going to explain it to you.
Okay.
Because the plaintiff believed that as a result of your Facebook posts, she believed that you were talking about her. Now, you probably were.
I was absolutely not.
And when there is a hint of a threat, which there was.
Can I please
in
pick
that
this up? Because
Facebook.
that is
No.
I'm literally
I'm telling you, I
speaking.
read it. She felt threatened, reasonably so, because the other Facebook posts, while they don't mention her by name, I believe she had reason to believe that you were referencing her.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You didn't pay your rent when you were supposed to, and the only way you got back into your shop was to pay up the 2 months that you didn't pay. That's when you got angry and said to her, I want my rent.
And later today,
You ate the steak. You and your mother lived in a place and paid rent, and then you think you're entitled to the rent back.
hairdresser Sean T. Jackson Washington says salon owner Lucretia Munns defamed her on Facebook. Lucretia is countersuing for stolen and damaged property, rent, and loss of business.
Now, what property did she take without permission?
A human hair wig that she wore and used.
Okay, just a second. Hey, tell me the things that she took without your permission. A wig, and what else?
And a blow dryer.
Do you have those things, Miss Washington?
Yes, I have them with me today.
You have the wig and the blow dryer.
Yes.
Give them to her.
We don't want...
Give them to her.
She's been personally wearing them. They're saturated. I can't resell them. That's saturated. That no one is going to repurchase it.
Done. Okay, now the last part of your counterclaim is for rent. For what period of time are you alleging that she owes you rent?
It's also for damages to the floor. She
Up.
owes me
For what period of time
from
do you
April
allege she
1st
owes you rent?
until she said that she was holding the chair until July.
That case is dismissed. We're done. Thank you very much.
And here's
did
my
you pay rent
canceled
in
checks.
No.
Here's all my canceled checks.
Just a second.
I paid them all.
No.
I paid all the rent.
Yeah, Miss Munn, let's understand this. You didn't pay rent in April. You didn't pay rent in May.
It says right here, rent for July, May, and April. So I did pay it.
You're not getting over
I'm not trying to get over on you. I'm trying to explain something to you.
Then you have to,
can I please explain this to you? When we were shut down, we didn't have money to pay those bills. As soon as we got our pandemic relief to pay our bills, she was still responsible for her portion of the rent. She rents a space to run a business out of, just like at your house and your business. I paid it.
You know, I'm not a moderator. Cut off her mic. You didn't pay your rent when you were supposed to, and the only way you got back into your shop was to pay up the 2 months that you didn't pay, and then the governor shut you down again. That's when you got angry and said to her, I want my rent. Goodbye. We're done. Finito.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
We were all supposed to pay our rent.
Jealous of what I got planned, my mobile hair salon.
I wish her the best in that.
She was paid, and she was trying to get money from me. She was trying to double dip.
At the end of the day, you have to fulfill your obligations as a salon independent contractor.
All parties in the matter of Taylor versus Wild, step to the podium, please.
Michael Taylor is suing his former landlord, Lucy Wild, for the return of rent and relocation costs after an illegal lockout.
Let me see if I understand this case. It seems, Mr. Taylor, that you and your mother moved into a premises as tenants in September of 2019, premises that was owned by the defendant. At the time you moved into that place, that area, you had, in fact, seen it. And it was, in fact, according to you, in a state of disrepair, needed a window. But you moved in anyway. And you lived there in September, and you paid rent.
Yes.
And how much rent did you pay?
It was $1,400 a month.
You paid $1,400 in September, $1,400 in October, $1,400 in November.
Yes.
And I assume that both you and your mother work in order to make this money.
My mother was not working at the time. I was working.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a bartender, waiter in the hospitality industry, and I also am a music producer and mix engineer, which I do freelance.
Okay. Then in December, but you did not pay rent.
No,
correct?
That's not true. I paid rent.
In December?
In December.
Now, at some point, you called some housing authority to register complaints about the house. Mm-hmm. When did you do that?
I made my complaint in December.
Okay. As a result of that complaint, the city where you live sent out an inspector.
Yes.
And after the inspection, the premises were found to be premises that should not be rented.
Correct.
Is that correct, Ms. Wild?
Yes, it is.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you are renting out an apartment and it's an illegal apartment, a court can't give you rent for that. Even though he ate the steak. And you know, I don't approve of eating the steak and then complaining.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Michael Taylor says his former landlord, Lucy Wild, owes for the return of rent and relocation costs after an illegal lockout. Lucy is countersuing for unpaid rent.
Okay. Does anybody have a photograph of where you were living?
I do have some pictures, yes.
Could I see it, please?
Sure.
You and your mother lived there. You evidently thought it was nice enough for you and your mother to live there. It looks like it's a sort of an attic-y loft. Does it have a bathroom?
It does.
It does. Okay, very good. But they said she shouldn't have been renting it because it probably wasn't zoned. I mean, the place looks totally reasonable. Okay, so after that, you knew, Miss Wild, that you shouldn't be renting it, even though he and his mother were perfectly comfortable there, September, October, November, and December, because you stayed January, February, March, April, and May, and didn't pay rent, right?
I paid rent in January, and then I didn't pay rent in February and on, yeah.
Well, okay, so you paid rent in January. Why?
I didn't...
You liked it.
Well,
I mean,
I did like it.
Great.
And I paid rent.
So you liked it? Then why did you stop in February?
Because the city told me that it was an illegal unit and it was illegal for her to collect rent.
Now, you're suing because you want your money back that you paid her.
Yes.
You ate the steak. You know what that means? If you go into a restaurant and you order a steak and the steak comes out and you taste it and you say, gee, this steak is terrible. I can't eat this steak. And you call the wait staff over, you're that business, and you say, I can't chew this steak. It feels like rubber. I'm sending it back. You are perfectly within your rights not to pay for it. Not if you eat it. You know what? I ate that steak. I really didn't like it. And I'm not going to pay for it. You and your mother lived in a place, and while you were living there, you paid rent. And then you continued to live there and not pay rent. Why would you think you're entitled to the rent back? Had you ever rented that space before, Miss Wild?
Yes, one other time. That was news to me that it was not a registered rental when he...
And when you called the whatever housing authority you called, what was your complaint?
My complaint was that I was still missing the window because she hadn't installed the window. And, well, that was it. Because after months of trying to get them to do the work, I did research on habitability and tenant rights, and having an open window like that could be an issue and be deemed as an illegal unit. So that was the initial complaint.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, you understand, Miss Wild, you have a countersuit, and your countersuit is for the time that Mr. Taylor and his mother lived there without paying rent. But you do understand, Miss Wild, apartment, and it's an illegal apartment. For whatever reason, a court can't give you rent for that. You do understand that, right? That would be silly. I mean, if the state says you're not allowed to rent that apartment, and what your countersuit is for the rent that he didn't pay when he was living there, I can't do that, even though he ate the steak. And, you know, I don't approve of eating the steak and then complaining. Do you understand, Mr. Taylor?
I do,
Good.
Coming from the hospitality.
Your claim is dismissed, as is your countersuit. We're done. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy...
Her car was totaled. She ended up in the hospital the day of the accident. Was there insurance on it? If not, I'm going to make you look so ridiculous.
There was no insurance on it.
Judge Judy.
There was a reason why I called Housing Authority. It was because she hadn't done work for months that was making my house uninhabitable.
No, they had a gorgeous place. It was beautiful.
It was like living in a circus.
I think that's what they do.
I was due relocation costs because that's why I didn't move.
They're just squatters.
Make you have this dog muzzled at all times.
A neighborhood menace unleashed.
Mr. Nebrita's dog bit my dog. Mr. Nebrita was not present.
A second attack repeated the terror.
Gary came to the front of my garage. Athena noticed that he was coming in, and they actually scuffled again.
This man let his poodle come into your garage. Don't embarrass yourself. Don't you have family?
This is Judge Judy. Gary Wong is suing his neighbor, Ronald Nebrita, for vet bills, broken glasses, and emotional distress due to a dog attack.
Judge, this is case number 76 on the calendar in the matter of Wong versus Nebrita. Parties have been sworn in. Sir, have a seat, please.
Thank you, Bird. Mr. Wong, you have a little dog, a poodle. Is it a standard poodle? Is it a miniature poodle? Is it a toy poodle?
He's a 10-pound miniature poodle.
How long have you had him?
Had him for over 3-4 years.
It is your claim that on 2 separate occasions, one in March of this year and once again in September of this year, that the defendant's dog, while unleashed, bit your dog. You have some substantial vet bills that you want him to be responsible for. Would you tell me about the first incident that happened in March of 2020?
Yes. So the incident happened at 10 with a leash. And as I walked 3...
No, just a second. Stop. Did you say off the leash or on the leash?
On leash. So he was on leash.
On leash.
Next to me. So I walk 4 houses away from my house, and then I noticed that Mr. Nebrita's dog came over and pretty much circled around my dog and pretty much made my dog anxious. And then before I knew it, Mr. Nebrita's dog bit my dog. And then at that time, Mr. Nebrita was not present.
But had you ever seen Mr. Nebrita's dog before?
I have seen Mr. Nebrita's dog before.
So there was no question that the dog was his dog and came from his house. How far does he live from you?
He lives across the street and 1 house to the left.
Okay, so pretty close. How long have you had your dog, Mr. Nebrita?
For over 2 years.
Where were you on March the 30th, 2020?
I was actually...
At 10 o'clock in the morning.
I was actually upstairs in my apartment.
And who was responsible for your dog?
My neighbor, Paul, was actually... I asked him to watch Athena as I went upstairs.
Okay. So you were outside with your dog, whose name is Athena. What kind of a dog is Athena?
Athena is a German Shepherd and a Siberian Husky mix.
So you had been out with the dog?
No, we usually hang out in the garage. She sleeps in the garage, and, you know, we go up and down into the apartment. And Paul, my neighbor...
Okay, just... You and at the time, Athena was off-leash with you in the garage. You were putting around.
Yes.
Your neighbor came in and you went upstairs.
Correct.
And you left your neighbor in charge of the unleashed dog.
In the garage, yes.
In the garage.
Correct.
Well, I assume the garage was closed.
It was open.
It was open, so that the dog could just walk out of the garage.
She could have, yes, and yes, because it was open.
Well, that's what she did.
Yes.
That's what she did. She walked out, and she was off leash.
Correct.
So there's no question that you're responsible for any vet bills that the plaintiff has for the March 30th incident. You understand that?
Okay. But...
Now, did Mr. Wong come to your house? How did you find out that your dog had bitten his dog?
Well, he came to my house, me not knowing that he actually went to the vet for his dog. And I told him that, you know, I would be, as neighborly, I would help him out with some of the bill, possibly if I had extra cash or whatever.
Not neighborly. Did your neighbor with whom you left Athena tell you that your dog had been involved in an incident? The neighbor is here.
Yes.
Let him stand up. I want to see him. Would you move over, please? You're his neighbor. What is your name?
Paul.
Told me, is that true?
Yes, I was.
Now, Athena left the garage and went across the street.
That didn't happen.
No, look at me. Look, just a second.
At you.
Look at my eyes.
Yes.
Athena left the garage and went across the street. Did you follow her?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And then they approached each other. The 2 dogs approached each other, and then that's when I seen Gary's dog bit Athena. So she reacted and bit it back. And then...
That couldn't have happened if Athena wasn't out without a leash. Sit. What were the vet bills for March 30th?
The March 30th bills was $1,487.
Did he give you any money towards those bills?
So after I approached Mr. Nebrita to try to work out the situation, he was telling me the situation is like, with COVID, everything, it was very difficult for him. So we tried to work out a plan.
Did he give you any money is my question.
No.
The answer is no, he did not.
No.
Now, I'd like you to tell me what happened on September 16th.
So what happened on September 16th, it was 7 p.m. and I came down from my apartment and I was going to take out the garbage and then walk my dog right after. And I look across the street and I see Mr. Nebrita walking over to another neighbor's. So I assumed that he was going to talk to some friends. Then I look over to where his place is, and then I noticed that his dog, Athena, was right across the street staring at my dog.
Just stop. Was she across the street alone?
Yes, across the street alone and unleashed.
He wasn't there?
No.
I mean, he was walking over to another neighbor's house.
Correct.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
That Athena was across the street. Now, was your dog on a leash?
He was on leash.
Yes?
Yes.
Then tell me what happened.
So I went down to pick up my dog, and then before I knew it, Athena ran over and pretty much bit my dog. Then I'm trying to grab Athena to try to get him off. And all I just hear is my dog just started screaming. So then I just hear like bites after bites, and then I'm just trying to shout, "Get off my dog, get off my dog." Soon after, I hear Mr. Nebrada saying, "Athena, get off, get off." And then after a couple bites, then he finally let go of my dog.
Your version.
I was in the garage with
Nebrida,
Athena.
your version.
I was in the garage with Athena. Gary came to the front of my garage. Athena noticed that he was coming in, and they actually scuffled again. And it wasn't even that long of a time for her to really actually bite and attack her, but no.
Are you telling, listen to me.
Yes.
Nebrida.
Yes.
Are you telling me that let his poodle come into your garage? Is that what you're telling? That's what you want this face to believe?
It happened in front of my garage.
This is what
Yes.
you want? This is what you want this face to believe, that after this young man witnessed his dog being bit in March, he came over, across the street from his house to your house, to the open garage.
Yes.
He did that.
In front of my garage.
You're an idiot. You want me to believe that after he witnessed his dog being bloodied in March, that had to be stitched up in March, he took his 10-pound dog across the street to your unleashed dog, who was again sitting in the garage.
Yes.
Sitting in the garage. Don't embarrass yourself. Don't you have family who watch television? Don't humiliate yourself. How much were the bills in September?
The bill in September was $4,500.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. They ought to make you have this dog muzzled at all times. And you better check your homeowner's insurance. If you have a job, the next time it happens, they're going to garnish your salary or take away your car or whatever else they have. Goodbye. We're finished.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
With Athena being a lot worse.
It's definitely a relief to actually get some sort of conclusion.
Well, I was in the garage when Gary did come in front of the garage.
Well, especially with the first incidents, I avoid his house as much as possible.
All parties in the matter of Estrada versus Barreco, step forward, please.
Angela Estrada says her former tenant, Madison Barreco, moved out owing for rent, bills, and damages to her home.
Miss Estrada, the defendant was a tenant of yours.
Yes.
From when to when?
She originally rented the house in June of 2018. She moved in with her boyfriend.
I didn't ask you who she moved in with.
I'm sorry.
I just said, when did her tenancy start?
Her tenancy started
June of 2018. Did she have a one-year lease or a two-year lease?
It was originally a one-year lease that went to a month-to-month tenancy thereafter.
So she was a tenant of yours from June of 2018 to May 31st, 2019, when she became a month-to-month tenant.
Yes.
Thereafter, she was your tenant until June of this year?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
From June 2018 to June 2019, did the defendant pay you rent?
Yes, ma'am.
And from June of 2019 until May, defendant pay you rent?
Yes, ma'am. Not always on time towards the end.
Well, you were aware as a landlord that there was a moratorium on eviction for tenants.
Yes, ma'am. I never tried to evict her.
That's not my question. Why don't you let me finish my question?
Okay.
There was a moratorium on eviction for non-payment of rent because of the pandemic starting in March. You were aware of that?
Yes, ma'am.
And despite the fact that you were aware that you were forbidden to evict the defendant, she paid you rent in March, in April.
No, ma'am. She didn't pay in April.
No rent in April. In May?
She paid April's rent in mid-May, and she paid May's rent at the end of May.
What difference does it make? You got paid for 3 months' rent, despite the fact that you had no recourse if she stopped paying you rent.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct? So she was one of the good guys who continued to pay rent even though their landlord would have no recourse if they stopped.
I didn't have an issue with her paying the rent.
So that's just, well, that's not 100% true. Because you have in your complaint late fees. Understand what I'm saying? So I am eliminating that. And the only part of your complaint that I'm going to hear is, because the rest of it is nonsense, Mr. Estrada. You should say thank you very much for being an honest person and paying your rent, even though I couldn't have done anything to you if you didn't.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Without my permission, Miss Barreco painted the bedrooms. She left painter's tape. It peeled all of the paint off.
You hadn't painted the house in 5 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Time to paint.
Angela Estrada is suing her former tenant, Madison Barreco, for property damage, utilities, lock changing fees, and for prorated rent she never paid.
Now, she gave you a security deposit, and the security deposit was how much?
$1,000.
Did you return the security deposit to her?
No, ma'am.
So you kept the security deposit, for which I assume you were alleging damage.
Yes, ma'am. Lots of damage.
So far, $1,000 of that you've kept for some of the damage. Now I would like to see what you are alleging. She is $4,000 worth.
Absolutely. We had an appointment for her to come through a walkthrough. Actually, we made several appointments.
That is not a question that I asked you. What I asked you was, I'd like to see photographs of the damage that you are alleging she caused to the premises. Photographs.
Okay. This first photograph is of the security door as you get to the house. And when I got to the house, the security door couldn't close any longer because it had been pried open at some point, and it would no longer shut, lock, or close.
Okay. Stop right there. Leave that there. Miss Barreco, how did that happen to the door?
The door, it wasn't that bad when we moved in 2018. I'll admit that. It was not that bad. There was one day that we were outside. We had to pry that open because of how old that screen was.
Okay. Now, what I'd like to see is a bill to repair that door, the security door. Okay. Security door replaced, new security door install, replace broken jams, new door install. Okay, $360. What's next?
When I got to the house, this is the air filter in the hallway, and it had never been changed, and it was actually sucked up into the vent. I know it hadn't been changed because I dated
Next. You should have changed.
One of the rooms, the carpeting could not be cleaned. It was filthy, so I had the carpeting removed.
And you want her to pay for new carpeting?
Yes, ma'am. The carpeting was brand new when she moved in.
The carpet was not brand new. She had tenants living there before me.
I had it professionally cleaned before she moved in.
But it wasn't brand new.
It was not brand new.
That's a different, just a second.
I apologize.
That's a different story.
It was
That's a different story.
like
What's
new
next?
conditioner.
What's next?
In one
What's
of the bedrooms,
next? 360.
Without my permission, Miss Barreco painted the bedrooms and then tried to repaint over where she had painted them. She left painter's tape attached to the walls, and you can see it's not covering the actual paint at all. When I took the painter's tape off, it peeled all of the paint off.
Miss Estrada, how many rental properties do you have?
Just the one, Your Honor. This was my grandfather's house. He left it to me.
In what year?
It would have been almost 11 years ago. It'll be 11 years ago in a month from when he passed away.
And have you constantly rented that house?
Well, I spent a year renovating it. I took out a very large loan and renovated the whole house.
Just a second. Has the house been consistently rented since then?
Most of the time, yes. There might have been a month or two gap, but for the most part, it's been rented the whole time.
Have you done anything since you totally renovated the home 11 years ago?
I replaced the carpet 5 years ago, 2 years before Miss Barreco was in it. So when I say I replaced it, it would have been
5 years ago?
Yes, ma'am.
Did a new tenant move into the house?
Since Miss Barreco left?
The defendant left?
6 weeks after, yes. She started renting in August. I spent 6 weeks fixing everything.
So she moved in August 1st?
The new tenant moved in August 1st, yes.
And you were paid your rent from the defendant through most of June?
Yes, ma'am.
So the only month that you didn't have
was July.
Was July. And you hadn't painted the house in 5 years.
Yes, ma'am.
According to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Time to paint.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Do you know anything about a broken window?
The window that she's talking about that's cracked or missing or whatever was from the gardeners, so I was not going to pay for the window that they broke.
Do you know how the gardeners broke that window?
Maybe a rock hit it, I don't know.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Angela Estrada is suing her former tenant, Madison Barreco, for property damage, utilities, lock changing fees, and for prorated rent she never paid.
Now, clearly, so that in August, with only 1 month downtime, you have a new tenant. Show me the other pictures of the other damage that you're alleging. So far, you have $1,000 in security deposit that you retained.
Flush, and the toilet seat was broken, so I had to call a plumber out.
Okay. I would like to see the bill from the plumber. $273.12.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now we're up to $633. What's next?
The house was left very, very dirty.
Now I will see a bill from a cleaning service to clean the apartment after the defendant left.
This was the bill for the cleaning company to come in and clean the house.
Great. Window cleaning, she's not responsible for. So that's $400 that you paid to clean.
Yes, ma'am.
$1033. What else?
When she moved out, she didn't return all of the keys. I had to have the locks changed.
That's your business. What's next?
There was also one window that was broken and one that was missing completely, so I had to have those two windows replaced.
Picture, please. Do you know anything about a broken window?
I had replaced a broken window, yes, but the other window, no. And the window that she's talking about that's cracked or missing or whatever, that was not on me.
Ms. Barreco never let me know there was a broken window.
Do you know how the gardeners broke that window?
Maybe a rock hit it, I don't know, but I know for a fact that it wasn't me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Did you replace a window?
I replaced a window, yes.
Tell me when you replaced a window and how did it come about that you needed to replace a window?
The window in the living room. My dog, there was somebody walking and he was barking and he pushed the window and it fell out and broke. I had that one replaced. But that one, I don't know, okay. And the gardener.
This was in one of the bedrooms. And as you can see, there's no window there.
Okay, very good. Would you remove the phone, please, and let me see the bill?
That's the glass shop bill.
$110. That's the glass.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so far, she owes you $143. You kept $1,000 of her security deposit. The overage of what you showed me is $143.
Additionally, she threw out all of the curtains in the house. She admits to throwing them out.
Miss Estrada?
Yes, ma'am.
$143. Consider yourself lucky. We're finished. This case is over. Goodbye.
This case is concluded.
The next Judge Judy. The reasons to evict were growing.
He brought in his daughter, and then he brought in his second daughter, and then he brought in his third daughter.
You had 60 days to leave. Why didn't you?
Judge Judy.
Miss Barreco destroyed my grandfather's house.
I am glad with the decision because I don't believe I should have paid anything.
It just broke my heart that she would be so disrespectful to me.
The house was not in perfect condition before I moved in.
We were arguing about the air conditioner.
A mother and son with control issues.
She was turning on the heat, and I turned on the air.
One of many fights. Police were called.
Then tempers boiled over.
She was like coming after me and getting in my face. I just picked up the frying pan for protection in case she attacked me.
You're not a tenant. You're a teenager with whom she had a fight and who picked up a frying pan.
This is Judge Judy. 19-year-old Justin Hodge is suing his mother, Christine Connell, for a broken phone, the return of property, moving costs, and an illegal eviction after they had a...
The calendar in the matter of Hodge versus Connell. Parties have been sworn in.
Mr. Hodge,
yes.
What's your date of birth?
September 13th, 2001.
The defendant is your mother.
Yes.
According to your complaint, for the last 6 years,
yeah,
you've been living full-time time with your mother. Prior to that, you were living with an aunt.
Yeah, it's like...
Just pay attention to my question.
Yes, Honor.
Had you been living with your aunt since birth until you were 13, or on and off with your aunt until you were 13?
Basically, it's just like since 3 years old.
Was your son living with your sister until he was 13?
Yes.
How come at 13, there must have been some reason for which I don't have to get into it right now, but how come at age 13 you moved in with your mother?
It's because my aunt was moving to Louisiana, and she gave me a choice if I want to move to go to Louisiana or with my mom in Milwaukee, Oregon. And I decided to go with my mom.
Did you see your mother often when you were living with your aunt?
Yeah, it's like every weekend I had like overnight stays with her.
Was this, Miss Connell, a court-ordered arrangement that your son lived with your sister?
Yeah, she filed guardianship of him.
Is he your only child?
Yes.
So she took custody of your son when he was an infant?
Yeah.
With your consent, and you saw him on weekend?
Yeah,
You've been living with your mother?
Yes, Honor.
Your choice.
Yeah.
It is your claim, sir, that when you were 19, and that was September of this year.
Yes.
You and your mother had an altercation.
Yeah.
One of many fights.
Yes, Honor.
And police were called.
Yes.
It was suggested that you leave by the police.
Yeah.
And you left.
Yeah.
So you're suing your mother because you allege several things. That during the fight,
yes, Honor,
she broke your phone.
Yeah.
And you're suing her for unlawful eviction.
Yes, Honor.
And in addition to unlawful eviction, your moving costs.
Yes, Honor.
And other property, the main piece of property is a computer or some sort of a tablet.
Yes, Honor.
Your mother says that you took all your clothes, the phone you broke yourself, the computer is hers because she bought it. And I'm telling you now, a 19-year-old cannot be evicted from their mother's house. You can get thrown out if you have a fight.
Yes.
And the police can be called. But you're not a tenant.
Yes, Honor.
Because in September, you had no job. I assume you weren't paying rent.
No, that's not true.
You were paying rent in September?
Yeah, it's only my...
From what job?
Six Flags.
I thought you lost your job.
I was working there before, Honor, but then they...
I'm talking about...
Then I lost it then.
Well, according to your complaint, you lost your job in March.
I got rehired because they were short of staff. They needed me back.
When?
Like September 15th, I got rehired.
Well, so between March and September, you weren't paying any rent.
No, that's true, Honor.
Okay, so if you were not paying any rent and you're living with your mother,
yes,
then you're not a tenant.
Yes, Honor.
You're a teenager.
Yes.
With whom she had a fight.
Yes, Honor.
And who picked up a frying pan to defend himself.
Yes,
right?
Honor. Yes, Honor.
All right. Now, you had a fight with your mother, and your phone was broken.
Yes.
Let's go back to who bought the phone. Who bought the phone?
My mom did.
When did she buy the phone?
I think it was July 5th.
That sounds very nice of her.
Yes.
Now, you want to tell me how it came about that she broke your phone in September? Tell me.
Basically, we were just arguing, then I was pretending...
Not basically. I don't want to hear basically.
Okay.
Just tell me what happened.
I was just, like, texting my aunt, texting my aunt to tell her I might be going down to stay with her, and she says, that's fine. Then she took it out of my hand and, like, threw it against the wall. It's not cracked, but it won't plug in. It will, like, go on and off without charging.
Where's your phone now?
There it is.
When's the last time you made a phone call with it?
Since September, but I've been using my aunt's and my friend's phone.
No, I'm asking you, why would you carry around a phone that doesn't work?
I was just going to Metro PCS and see if they can help me fix it.
Good.
Yes.
Tell me about this frying pan that you picked up.
Basically...
When you and your mother were having a fight. Not basically.
Okay. I was just, like, doing it for protection because she was, like, coming after me and getting in my face.
What was she saying to you?
She said to turn off, because we were arguing about the air conditioner, and she was turning on the heat, and I turned on the air because it goes around the house, apartment.
So you were arguing about the air conditioner?
Yeah, then
in September?
Yeah. Yes, Honor.
And then?
She was coming after me, turning off the air. Then I just picked up the frying pan for protection in case she attacked me.
And what did you do with the frying pan?
Just, like, threw it on the ground, on the hardwood floor.
Did you hit the floor with it?
Yes.
How many times did you hit the floor with it?
Probably just like couple times, probably like 4 times.
Couple is 2.
Yeah, 2 to
That's
4.
more than a couple.
Okay. Yes, Honor.
Did you cause any damage to the floor?
No.
Is that when your mother called the police?
No, the neighbors called the police, Honor.
Ah.
I have couple evidence.
Do you have a police report?
No, the police never did the report. I already tried to call the Concord police, and before, they never had a police report typed.
Okay, very good.
Basically, I just have the evidence about the computer.
I'd like to first hear about the computer. What kind of a computer is it?
It was just basically like an extra computer screen, so I could just like...
Not a basically.
Okay.
What was it?
It was like a extra screen I can hook my laptop to, and I can watch movies on it. And it's when I turned it on, when I get to my aunt's house, it was like cracked.
So your mother gave it to you?
Basically, not the computer. It was
not basically.
Okay. Basically.
Not basically.
Sorry.
When you left, not.
Okay.
Hey. When you left, when the police told you to move.
Yes.
You took your clothes and you took your laptop.
I never took my laptop, but my laptop was in my...
How did you...
Basically, my laptop was in my...
what?
In my filing cabinet in my old room, and I had my screen took my computer to, my aunt's computer.
Where is your laptop now?
My mom has it, she said, Honor.
Okay. And when did you get it?
I never got it yet, Honor.
No, when did you get it? When did you purchase it?
August. Sometime in August at Target.
Did you purchase it or did your mother?
Basically got it with my cash my friend gave me.
What friend gave you cash for a computer?
My old friend from my old work I used to work at.
How much did this old friend whose name you're going to tell me give you?
Like $300 for the computer.
Did you buy it new?
Yes, and it was at Target in Walnut Creek.
What's the name of the friend who gave you $300 for a computer?
Devin.
Devin what?
Devin was his name, Honor.
He's still alive, I assume.
Yes.
Do you still see him?
Yes, sometimes, but we usually get in arguments about stuff, but we're just taking a quick break talking to each other.
Since when?
Since the fight me and my mom had in September.
What did Devin have to do with the fight you and your mother had?
We were just like, he wasn't helping me out. He only picked me up, only, from my old house apartment.
Why didn't you take the laptop with you?
I was in the cops.
You took your clothes?
Yeah, the cops was rushing me out of the house.
You took your clothes?
Yes.
Most young people who were 19 would take their phone, their laptop, and throw in a couple of shirts.
Yes.
Now, so he picked you up from your mother's house after the fight.
Yes,
Devin.
Honor.
When did you stop talking to him? He's the one who gave you the $300 for the computer.
Yeah, probably like October, end of September, we were stopped talking for a little bit.
Ms. Connell, tell me about this laptop.
For him, anything, but I do have it with me.
No, don't. You have the laptop with you?
Yeah.
Good. Tell me when you purchased it.
I purchased it in September.
Do you have your own computer?
Yes.
What kind do you have?
I have an HP.
And what kind did you purchase for your son?
I purchased the HP.
Where did you purchase it?
In Walmart.
Do you remember how much it was?
It was like $200.
So you have your own?
Yes.
And when you purchased it at Walmart, you gave it to your son?
Yes.
As a gift?
Yeah.
Then you have to give it back to him?
Yeah.
So I'm glad you have it with you.
Yep.
And Bird will make arrangements for the transfer of his laptop back to him.
Okay.
Got it?
That's fine.
Great.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your mother turns off the air conditioner in a house that she's paying for. That's a prerogative. You don't throw a fit and pick up a frying pan. If you're a teenager living at home, your mother owns the air that you breathe.
And later today,
we're going to go further if I'm not satisfied with the answer. Do you understand that I've been doing this here for 17 years? How old are you?
22.
That means when I started to be a star, you were still pooping in your pants.
Justin Hodge claims his mother, Christine Connell, broke his phone, stole his laptop, and illegally evicted him after they had a physical altercation.
Okay, you're going to get your laptop back, young man. Do you understand?
Yes.
You don't get moving costs. You don't get costs for wrongful eviction. You probably get to say, I'm sorry for all this stuff to your mother, because it sounds to me, based upon just what you told me, that she was trying to be nice to you.
Yes, Honor.
Yeah. Your mother turns off the air conditioner in a house that she's paying for. That's her prerogative.
Yes,
and
Honor.
if you're 19 and you want to go live with your aunt, that's terrific. Go live with somebody else. But you don't throw a fit and pick up a frying pan. If you're a teenager living at home, your mother owns the air that you breathe. We're going to make an order for the exchange of the laptop. Thank you very much. This case is over.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
My friend got it for me, not her.
He was suing me for nothing.
I don't know what's going to happen.
That we can get along and everything can be good.
Sorry, Mom.
Apology was accepted.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Cooper versus Black step forward.
Tracy Cooper is suing 22-year-old Jeff Black for stealing
his exercise machine. Before you answer the question, don't conjure up, don't machinate, don't ruminate. Just think about what I'm saying to you. Where is her exercise machine? Don't look there. Don't look there. Because whatever answer you give me, we're going to go further if I'm not satisfied with the answer. Do you understand me?
I do.
And do you understand that I've been doing this here for 17 years?
I do.
How old are you?
22.
22. That means when I started to be a star, you were still pooping in your pants. Do you understand me? Now, I'm asking you where her exercise machine is today. Look here. Answer the question.
Not in my possession.
That's not what I asked you. I said, where is it today? Don't look there. Where is the exercise machine today? Don't go.
I don't
when
know.
I'm finished making you look ridiculous, I'm going to start working on her. So just answer the question, where is her exercise machine today? Let's start with
Bergen.
Are you a fool? Why are you asking me with a question mark at the end of that? Is it in Oregon? Who are you?
I'm his fiance.
You're his fiance. Is he really an idiot? Is he really an idiot? Stand up. Your name?
Sarah.
Where's the exercise machine?
He sold it.
Where? Where?
To his friend.
His friend who?
I don't know.
First name?
Adam.
When? Don't look over there.
About a month ago.
Were you present at the sale?
Yes.
Where did it take place?
Our house.
How many times have you met Adam?
About 5.
When was the last time you saw Adam?
At the sale.
How did he get the exercise machine out of your house?
He had himself and a mover that works for him come and pick it up.
See how easy that was, idiot?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Listen to me. He's a hustler and a bum. You want to hitch your wagon to that star? You go right ahead and do it. I'm telling you, you look like a lovely young lady. Make any big mistakes. Big mistakes last you for a long time.
Judge Judy. Tracy Cooper is accusing Jeff Black of stealing her exercise machine. Jeff claims Tracy abandoned it.
You see how easy that was? Now you can sit. When did you notify him that you wanted your exercise machine back?
April 15th, 2013.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a horse trainer.
What does he do?
He's a mover.
He's a bum. He's a bum. Listen to me. He's a hustler and a bum. I'm going to tell you why. Because I read his answer. And his answer said, she agreed to sell me the exercise machine for $500. That's if I believe him. She told him she wanted it back April 15th. He sold it, according to you, and you're not a liar, are you?
No.
A month ago. To somebody who we knew. To somebody who you knew. He couldn't give me those answers because he was trying to fool me. He was trying to figure out what to say so that I wouldn't find me. If you're an honest girl. He's not. He's dishonest. Now I want Adam's last name. I want Adam's last name.
I don't know his last name.
You're not as cocky as you were when you first came in, right?
Wasn't cocky at all.
Sure you were. Made some sort of an arrangement with Mr. Black to move you from one place to another. By the way, you have a company?
I do.
What's the name of your company?
This case was not regarding my company.
Well, you did move her, didn't you?
This was not involving my company because I did not receive any type of money for this. I did this by myself to help her out because she was going through a tough situation. She was.
Listen, you want to hitch your wagon to that star, you go right ahead and do it. I've been around the track a few times myself, and I'm telling you, what I see, what I hear, look like a lovely young lady. Make any big mistakes. Big mistakes last you for a long time. When did you purchase the exercise machine?
I have the original receipt, August 16th, 2009.
Oh, stand up. We're going to ask you another question because I can't get a straight answer from him. When Adam purchased the exercise machine, when you were present for the transaction, how much did he sell the exercise machine for? Don't say you don't know.
$500.
Probably about what it's worth from 2009. Did you send her the $500?
Wasn't able to get a hold of her.
So the answer is?
No.
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Anything else you want to tell me?
Judge Judy, I was hoping just to get the machine back.
Can't get the machine back.
Okay.
He sold it to somebody for $500.
Okay.
The person who he sold it to for $500 did not purchase a $5,000 piece of equipment for $500. He purchased an old exercise machine that some people paid to get rid of, for somebody to take out of their house. But he paid $500 for it, which is probably a reasonable deal for that person. You clearly didn't want it at some point because you were willing to sell it to him. He says for $500. His problem is he's a scam artist. At some point, he was supposed to move you back. He said you can keep the exercise machine. I have no use for it anymore, as long as you move me from one place to another. When it came to move from that one place to another, according to you, he was nowhere to be found. So now he had your exercise machine that you told him he could have, and he wasn't moving you. So you spoke, you said, listen, you want to buy it? He says, I'll give you $500 for it. According to him, you said, fine. He sells it later. That's what the case is about. It's very easy. Okay. You have anything else you don't want to say? Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. That's all. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy, a customer looking for a friend.
60 pages of text messages, a lot of emojis, and a lot of just personal things being shared with me.
Next Judge Judy.
I did this out of the kindness of my heart. I wasn't receiving any money for this.
The truth is that I wanted the machine back.
It was sitting in my possession for several months, and it came down to she wanted to sell it.
It is a $2,200 piece of equipment.
I sold it, and then she wanted the exercise machine back, and after I sold it, I can't give it back to you.
It's unfortunate that it did have to get this far.
I don't think that he's dishonest.
That's not true. He was operating under his company name.
I think that he was a little bit nervous in there.
When he did move me 2 times.
And that's maybe why he wasn't answering the questions so quickly.
Get everything in writing.
I think she was a little bit harsh. Yeah.
Happy to be done with it, and thank you again, Judge Judy.
TLC.
You paid him to fix this 35-year-old camper.
And I had to pay someone else money to fix those repairs.
But he has an age-old problem.
You're not entitled to $5,000, Mr. Pogner. You're not following the math.
But the body itself has not lasted.
Nobody's body lasts. Not yours, certainly not mine.
This is Judge Judy. John Progner is suing mechanic Miguel Ramos for performing shoddy work on his RV and leaving it incomplete.
Justice case number 105 on the calendar in the matter of Progner versus Ramos. Both parties have been sworn in.
Mr. Progner, you are the owner of a 1985 Toyota camper.
Yes, ma'am.
When did you purchase this camper?
The year 2000 in Santa Cruz, California.
You purchased it when it was 5 years old.
No, it's a
How much did
1985.
you pay for it?
I paid $2,500.
You purchased it when it was 15 years old.
Yes, ma'am.
For $2,500. And you used it for 20 years.
Yes.
Sounds like you got your money's worth out of it.
I put a new motor in it when I first drove down here. I bought it from friends, and the new motor was in it, and the motors continued to last. But the body itself has not lasted.
Mr. Progner, nobody's body lasts. Not yours, certainly not mine. Out of this 1985 camper that you bought 20 years ago for $2,500, but you decided you wanted body work on it. In addition to being very old, it's also damaged by something falling on the roof. In any event, you found Mr. Ramos. He said he would fix the whole thing for $5,000. And you said, okay, and according to you, you paid him in July of this year $4,500 towards the $5,000 bill to fix this 35-year-old camper. So I would like to see proof of all of those payments.
Right here. Each one of these is a withdrawal from the Bank of America. I have text comments that are validating these as well that say, like, on the 11th of June, I will call you and I've got money for you. Can I bring it by tomorrow? Miguel responds back in the text on, yes, bring it by, and I've been by on the 12th to pay him. So each one of these is validated. I've met Miguel's neighbors. Miguel has been over to my brother's family's house for Christmas. He has met every member of my immediate family, Judge Judy. And everyone had the understanding Miguel was being paid to repair my camper.
Perform a miracle that you paid for.
Then why did you give me the price, Miguel? You're the one that dubbed the price.
Just a second. Don't talk to each other. I'm looking up what a third.
Judge Judy, I paid to put a new motor in that in the past as well. So the 35-year-old camper has been maintained in certain aspects.
Yeah, fine. I'm not buying that thing. That thing doesn't show me checks. That thing shows me where you took money out of.
Okay, I've got a voice recording right here where I've called Miguel and saying, Miguel, I've got $1,000 or $500 for you. Can I come over and give it to you? Can I play that, ma'am?
Oh, sure. I could see that you might want to fix it for $500.
Hey, Miguel,
Absolutely.
how's it going, man? I hope it's okay with you. I want to give you $500 tomorrow. If that works for you, call me back or hit me back or whatever, and I'll meet up with you tomorrow and give you $500.
So I've got several of those, Judge Judy. I've got another one.
Just a second.
Okay.
I'd like to hear the rest of them.
Okay, I've got texts. That's the one voicemail that I've got saying that. But the other texts that I have, I've got them typed out right here, ma'am.
No, I want to see it on your phone.
Okay.
I don't want to see what you typed out.
Okay, let me find out what the date is then, and I'll bring that up for you then.
I've got $500. Maybe you'd want to spend $500 to fix it.
Miguel gave me a rate of $5,000, ma'am. He's the one that chose the price. He gave me the bid.
Mr. Progner, there is no way a normal person spends $5,000 on a camper that they paid $2,500 for 20 years ago that was 15 years old when they bought it.
Or if you look at retail value, ma'am, those campers are selling for anywhere between $15,000 and $20,000. They're very, very expensive.
Fully restored.
Okay.
Here's the text here.
Mr.
Where I have
Progner,
paying Miguel
Mr. Progner.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Miguel, I have $1,000 for you to be around. Yes, definitely. I'll be here tomorrow. Got your floors done today. Mr. Progner, according to your complaint, he gave you a price of $5,000. Crazy as that may be for somebody to pay $5,000 to fix this relic of a camper that had been damaged. What you say in your complaint was you paid him $4,500 and you had to spend another $1,000 or $1,134. So at most you've spent $6,000, $4,500 to Miguel, and another, at most, $1,500 because you also say you have to rewire some broken lights that Miguel destroyed. Whether that's true or not, I'm speaking. At most, you spent $6,000. Is what you're telling me that the defendant did no work? Because you say yourself, when you went to pay him the $500 upon completion, and I'm not so sure I buy a whole story about $5,000 to fix it, I noticed questionable work and voiced my concerns. Miguel just claimed he wasn't fit.
I've got one tail light, one brake light, and one turn signal, all split between both sides. I've got a vent right here that you can see light through.
Tail lights.
You're not listening to what I said to you. He did work on your camper. At most, if I believe your complaint, it cost you an extra $1,000. And if you fix the taillight, an extra $440. So in total, you would have spent $6,000 to fix just a piece of that, $1,500.
Judge Judy, I paid Miguel to fix my brakes.
No,
My
you did
brakes
not.
were the
You
main
did
thing
not.
that I came
You
here
did
for.
not
I got
for that.
towed home by my brakes
Nope.
because my brakes froze up in the camping trip.
You're not entitled to $5,000, Mr. Pogner. You're not following the math.
Judge
You
Judy,
paid
I
him
paid Miguel
$4,500.
$4,500 to
Did you-
fix my brakes, and I had to pay someone else money that I already paid to Miguel to fix those repairs.
The same you did with
Miguel has taken advantage of me, Judge Judy, and needs to pay.
You're not taking advantage of me, Mr. Pogner, because you're not paying
Progner
attention.
is my name, ma'am.
You made an agreement with him to fix your camper.
Yes.
As you said earlier, don't speak now. Now put on your listening ears. To fix the camper, both mechanically and cosmetically. And you were going to pay him $5,000, and that included the brakes on the camper. You say you had to pay someone additionally $1,100 to fix the brakes. So now you've spent, instead of $5,000, you've spent $5,600. Then you say a taillight doesn't work because of something he wired wrong, and you have an estimate for $440. That brings the total to $6,000 to get your camper back the way you want it. That's according to your complaint. You're not entitled to $5,000 back.
My camper is ruined by Miguel, Judge Judy. The roof is ruined. Here's the roof right here with big holes in it.
Okay.
Judge Judy was supposed to install an air conditioner for me.
I used 3-year-old air conditioner.
He was supposed to fix the oil leaks in the motor.
No, I
My
wasn't.
brakes were the main
He
one.
paid $10,000
The oil
for
leaked
the
off
shop
of there.
twice to get
I
that
paid
motor.
$15 for an.
Just
I
a
paid
second. Say
$15 for the oil leak to repair in about 2 hours, Judge Judy. Miguel is a terrible person.
Yeah, I bet.
The way I met him was through Beth, his girlfriend. He had to get rid of Beth because she became too needy on him. He became a very aggressive person. Miguel does not pay his child support, Judge Judy. He's been hounded by Florida.
Yeah,
I've seen demand payments for
That's not
between
what we're here
$800
in
and
court for.
$900 of all of this.
We're not
Miguel
here
is
for
not a
that.
nice person
Mr. Proga.
and has taken advantage of me, Judge Judy. And here's many
here
validations
for that.
of this.
Of your 35-year-old camper
Yes,
that you
ma'am.
got back from Miguel.
Yes.
That you got back from him.
Here's my camper now sitting in the back of the yard at the break place where I can't drive it
Just
still.
don't listen to me, sir.
Yes,
I didn't
ma'am.
ask you to say anything. I said just show it to me. So now I see it. Now I'd like to see the camper when you brought it to Miguel.
I do not have a picture of what it looked like when I brought it to Miguel.
I have those, Your Honor.
May I see it, please?
This picture here shows where he had a store that was full of homeless. They ripped the door out from it. They partied inside. They used the toilet like 40 times. There was all
Just a
kinds
This is
of...
not the truth.
Tonight-
Not the truth at all.
Here's
Not the
the-
truth at all.
If you interrupt one more time, I'm dismissing your case, Mr. Progner. Do you understand
Yes,
that?
ma'am.
Unless I'm asking you a question, if you interrupt again, I'm dismissing your case. We understand each other?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Do you have a photograph of the interior after you worked on it?
Yes.
Is that the inside of the camper?
And later today,
And she put my daughter on the couch with the tablet and the TV and went and took a nap.
I would like to know what a tablet is.
An iPad.
An iPad. Oh, I thought you some sort of a drug. Oh.
John Progner claims mechanic Miguel Ramos performed shoddy work on his RV, leaving it incomplete. He is asking for a refund of the money he paid.
Mr. Ramos, is that a photograph of his camper
Yes, it is, Miss Judy. This is basically...
when he brought it into you?
Yes, yes.
No, not basically. Is that a picture of his camper?
Yes.
Do you have any other pictures?
I sure do. I have for more.
Is that the interior?
Yes, that's the interior. Removed completely all the flooring out of it.
Mr. Ramos, do you have a photograph of the interior after you worked on it?
I do, and...
Just show me the picture of the interior after you worked on it. Is that the inside of the camper?
Yes, that is...
After you worked on it?
Yes, it is, Miss Judy.
And now I'd like to see the photograph that the plaintiff just put up of the camper as it exists now after it was fixed by Mr. Ramos.
Beautiful.
Looks great. Your case is dismissed. We're done.
That's it. Thank you, Miss Judy. Thank you so much.
Case is concluded. Parties are excused.
Basically, I did what I was supposed to do.
Makes no sense whatsoever.
You should be happy what he got. He could go to the beach and hang out in it.
And that piece of whatever you want to call him just got walked out of here for free.
And now, the next case.
All parties...
Daycare provider Angela Scott is suing her former client, Stacy Hastis, for an unpaid daycare bill. Stacy claims Angela is a negligent provider, and she's not paying.
Ms. Scott, it is your claim that the defendant owes you 4 days of daycare services for her 2 children.
Yes.
And Ms. Tastas has a defense. Her defense is you shouldn't be entitled to any money for taking care of the 2 children because you neglected them. So, Ms. Tastas, on what date did you bring your 2 children to Ms. Scott?
I don't have an exact date.
On what date, Ms. Scott?
May 15th, 16th, and 30th.
You brought them on the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Did you pay for them on the 15th?
No, I did not.
How much was the agreed price for the 15th?
They were there for 6.5 hours at $5.50 an hour for both children, so $35.75.
So you availed yourself of her service.
Yes.
On the 15th. You didn't pay for it.
I was told I could pay all at the end of the week.
But we're in court now, so now not what you were told. Now we're in court, and we're going to figure out how much you owe and how much you're going to pay. So on the 15th, you took your children, $35.75, and were satisfied sufficiently to bring them back on the 16th, correct? How many hours did you work on the 16th?
From 9:33 in the morning to 1:50 for a total of $23.50.
Now, there is a long gap between May 16th and May 30th. What happened, Ms. Tastas?
On the 15th, I brought them back. Everything seemed to be fine.
No, listen to me. I don't want to hear that you were not satisfied, that you had concerns about her care of the children or anything else about the 15th. I'm going to tell you why. Because if you were any sort of a mother, if you had sufficient concerns, you wouldn't have brought them back on the 16th, which you did. So you owe her $35.75 for the 15th. Now, having brought your children back on the 16th, I am asking you what happened between the 16th and the 30th, because you don't deny that you brought the children back on the 30th, which means if you were any sort of a mother, if you had legitimate concerns about the safety of your children on the 16th, you wouldn't have brought them back on the 30th. So clearly, you owe for the 16th, which is $23.50. My question to you is, what happened to her caring for the children between the 16th and the 30th?
The 16th, my mother picked my kids up, and Miss Angela Scott brought...
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your Honor, she never mentioned that I neglected her.
She's paying for the steak she ate.
I shouldn't have to mention that. You take a nap. You don't get to take a nap while you watch kids.
I didn't take a nap while I watched kids.
My 5-year-old's in the back. You can talk to her.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Daycare provider Angela Scott says former client Stacy Hastis owes for an unpaid daycare bill. Stacy claims Angela doesn't deserve to be paid.
Now, what happened between the 16th and the 30th?
The 16th, my mother picked my kids up, and Miss Angela Scott brought my mom the wrong child.
Well, that would have suggested to me, as a normal mother, you, not your mother, you, normal mother, she brought my mother the wrong child. I may not, just a second, I'm not bringing my kids back there again. But you brought them back on the 30th.
Because I gave her the benefit of the doubt.
Just a second, that's fine, just a second. You gave her the benefit of the doubt, so you owe the money for the 16th. Now, you gave her the benefit of the doubt, and despite the fact that your mother said, you know, she gave me the wrong kid, and despite the fact that you had other concerns about her care on the 15th and 16th, you brought your children back on the 30th. And how many hours were they there on the 30th?
3 1/4.
How much?
It's right around $18.
Now, what happened on the 30th, Ms. Hastis? Because after the 30th, then you did not bring your children back there anymore.
Correct.
Correct? Okay. And you left your children there for 3 hours. Where did you go during those 3 hours?
I worked.
Okay, so far you owe for the 15th, you owe for the 16th. Now, you want to tell me why you don't owe for the 30th?
I don't owe her anything.
Oh, yes, you do. I just explained to you that you ate the steak. You went to the restaurant, you ate the steak. You didn't return the steak and say, I don't like the way this tastes. You ate it, and then you said, you know what? I've had better steak. I'm not paying for it. You ate the steak on the 15th, you ate the steak on the 16th, and you ate the steak enough so that you brought the kids back there on the 30th for another steak. Now, all I'm asking you is you do owe her for the 15th and 16th, so now you're going to explain to me why you think you don't owe her for the 30th. I've already ruled on the 15th and 16th because you ate the steak. Now, if you have some compelling reason, because you didn't bring your children back after the 30th, if you have some compelling reason why you think you should not pay for the 30th, that I'll hear you, but you are going to pay for the 2 days when you ate the steak. The 30th is what we're talking about. 30th.
What they did that day. She told me that Angie put the kids in bed, put my daughter on the couch with the tablet and the TV, and went and took a nap.
You're the one
I'm
who
not paying anybody to neglect my children. If you don't watch the kids, you shouldn't get money for saying you watch the kids. And you, as a daycare, you don't go lay down and take a nap.
I would like to know what a tablet is.
An iPad.
An iPad. Oh, I thought you some sort of a drug. Oh.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Who takes care of your children now?
I do. I had to quit my job not being able to find proper care. And I didn't trust to leave them with anybody anymore. So I quit my job to stay home with my kids.
What's wrong with your mother?
My mother works.
I don't understand. She owes you $77.25. Why are you suing her for $787?
In my parent handbook, it's $5 a day late fees. She said she'd be there June 2nd with a check. So late fees started June 3rd when she didn't show up to pay me.
$77.25. Judgment for the plaintiff. That's all. Thank you.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Your Honor, she never mentioned that I neglected her.
She's paying for the steak she ate.
I shouldn't have to mention that. You take a nap. You don't get to take a nap while you watch kids.
I didn't take a nap while I watched her
to her.
Listen to me very carefully. And you too. If your daughter said after she had a conversation with you, my mother told me I was given the wrong child at daycare, and therefore this is not the kind of place that I want for my children to be cared for. I'm speaking. Try putting on your listening ears. Then I would say, fine, I may listen to that. But she ate the steak, and not only did she eat the steak, but she brought the children back on the 30th. And I don't care what the reason was. Whether the reason was she had to go to work. What?
She had no choice, Your Honor.
She had no choice. If there's something wrong with you, that's my judgment. Goodbye.
Your Honor.
If you're excused, you may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
He forged my son's signature.
I'm waiting for them to finish lying to you.
He never signed an agreement.
He agreed to it.
But you signed it.
Next Judge Judy.
I don't think she deserves a dime. I shouldn't have to pay someone to neglect my children.
We do stuff with the kids every day, and I didn't neglect her kids.
I have a 4-year-old who comes home and tells me she went and took a nap. You don't take a nap when you're watching someone else's kids.
I didn't take a nap while her kid was there.
When I went to pick the long time to get the door, which concerned me.
She never even voiced a complaint to me about anything.
When she finally did come to the door, she tried to give me a different infant, and I said that one wasn't mine.
I've never given anyone the wrong child. The days that they were there was my kids were the only other ones there, so I have no idea what she's even talking about.
Make sure you check everything out before. Otherwise, you could end up with someone neglecting your kids.
Everyone that meets me always comes, meets my staff, looks around, and everyone's happy with it.
Her friend's dog was too frisky.
Pappy came barking at us. He was nipping at my dog's face.
And they're all off leash at this point.
Then the tables turned.
Her dog got your dog in its mouth. The dog was rushed to a vet, had to have surgery.
Was the threat obvious?
The defendant's dog has attacked other dogs before.
Each time she says, was the other dog's fault?
This is Judge Judy. Michelle Kirby and boyfriend Tim Lim are suing their former friend Niharika Venad for vet bills due to a dog attack.
Judge, this is case number 123 on the calendar in the matter of Kirby Lim versus Venad.
Kirby, this is your boyfriend, and I assume he's here because he covered some of this bill, or does he co-own the dog with you?
He co-owns the dog.
So, Mr. Lim, why don't you have a seat for a moment?
Sure.
If I need you, I'll call you.
Sounds good.
Thank you, sir. Okay. You and the defendant were friends. You made an appointment to meet for some wine, conversation, and take your dogs to a dog park. You had 2 dogs with you, a small dog, a miniature pinscher, and a dog that you say you were fostering. What kind of dog were you fostering?
They said that she was a shepherd mix.
Much larger dog.
Yes, larger breed.
And the defendant has a full-grown German Shepherd, and you knew that.
Yes.
And you went to a dog park, and you both let your dogs off leash, correct?
Yes, it wasn't a dog park. It was more of an open space, just to clarify.
So it's not a formal dog park, and you all let your dogs off leash. How many dogs were there that were off leash?
That's correct. So it was my 2 dogs that I had with me, Nee's dog and then my friend Abby's dog, so 4 dogs.
And what kind of dogs does your friend Abby have?
She has a Bernedoodle.
And your pinscher weighs how much?
17 pounds.
According to you, what happened was that the dogs were sort of playing around, and Pappy, you're the defendant's German Shepherd, and they're all off leash at this point. How far away from you and Miss Vinod were the dogs when your dog yipped or barked?
They were pretty far, and then they came closer, so they were arriving at the park. The barking started.
You mean, just a second, you mean they had gone far away from all of you?
Oh, no, they were just arriving. So we had just arrived. We were there probably for 15 minutes, and Nee was not there yet. So it was me and Abby, and our dogs were playing, and then about...
So it was you and your other friend, and the defendant arrived last.
Correct.
And your dogs and Abby's dog were off-leash playing.
Yes, they were.
And the defendant came to join you with her dog. Did you drive there by car or did you walk, Miss Vinod?
I got there by car. It is about a 7-minute walk to the spot that they were at.
When you got out of your car with your dog for this 7-minute walk to where they were, was your dog on leash?
Yes, he was.
At what point did you take your dog off leash?
When I got there and I saw their dogs playing off leash, I took their lead and I got Rocket off leash.
Before or after you said hello to them?
They were at the far end from the point where I entered, so I just got off leash and I was walking towards Michelle. She was sitting on a picnic bench at that point to set my thing.
Just a second, but you took your dog off leash when you saw her dog and Abby's dog playing in the distance. You took your dog off leash.
That is correct.
And did your dog run over to where the other dogs were playing?
No, ma'am. My dog is trained to heel while I'm walking.
And did the dog heel while you were walking?
Yes, he did.
At what point did he join the other dogs in play, or did he not?
Ma'am, we hadn't started officially playing. He was heeling while walking. And while I was going towards Michelle, although my dog was off leash, Pappy came barking at us. He was lunging in the air and nipping at my dog's face.
When she arrived, you saw her walking, and the defendant says that her dog was at her side. I tend to believe that, and that little Pappy ran up to her dog, who was at her side. Is that correct?
Yes.
And yipped, like sometimes little dogs do. They jump up, whether it went to nip, whether it went to greet, I don't know. And you did see your dog running towards hers, and something happened before her dog, which was at her side. You saw something happen. That's what you say in your complaint. A yip or something.
Oh, he barked. No, he barked, he yipped. I did not see any lunging or nipping at the face. I've never seen him do that ever before. But he did bark at it. And I didn't see it that day either, that's for sure.
But the German Shepherd was at the side of the owner.
For the most part. I wouldn't say he was right next to her the whole time. He definitely, there's some space that had increased as they approached the table.
How many feet would you say Pappy ran when the other dog came into the park? I'm a dog owner, and I have small dogs. I know what I'm talking about. How far would you say Pappy ran? 50 feet, 100 feet, 150 feet from where the dogs were playing to where the defendant was with her dog? How many feet?
I would say 40 feet, or to guess.
Okay. So your dog traveled 40 feet away from where you were?
Yes. I have a picture of the location, if that's helpful.
I'll look at it.
Yeah. So this is the spot where we met. This is the table that I was sitting at. And then you can see right over here is where Nee and her dog entered. So it was probably about 30, 40 feet from.
What happened was tragic because her dog, according to you, picked up your dog, bit Pappy, which caused serious injury. Dog was rushed to a vet, had to have surgery. Your vet bills were over $5,000. Dog had to remain in the center. And the defendant went with you to the vet. And I think if what I read is correct, the first $850 was taken from your credit card.
That is correct. That is correct. I drove Michelle and Pappy to the vet.
Great. And it's clear that that $850 was never paid back to her, nor is she asking for that now because I don't have a counterclaim. So it's interesting. Both of your dogs were off leash. But from what she tells me and what you seem to acknowledge is that her dog was under her control and your dog was not. You know, I always say when you go to a dog park and you release your dogs and they're out there playing, you've lost control of an animal. The defendant says, and I believe her, that her dog is trained to heel. And in fact, did that when they walked into the park. It was your dog that ran across the park 30 or 40 feet, according to you. And that was where the confrontation was, Lee, to this date in June. Did you have occasion to be in the company of the defendant's dog?
Less than 10 times, but we would meet up at parks to let our dogs play.
Okay, so has your dog and her dog interacted before without incident?
Yes.
You say in your complaint that Rocket, that is the defendant's dog, has attacked other dogs before, so Nee should not have taken him to the dog park. Well, when did you find out about that?
Before the incident, I did find out. He had attacked large dogs. Each time, she says, it was the other dog's fault, but has never taken...
Just a second. So before the incident, Ms. Kirby, if what you tell me is true, that you knew that this 120-pound German Shepherd, according to you, that the defendant told you that the dog had had other incidents with big dogs. Why in the world would you let a small dog have 10 play dates with a dog that you knew had incidents?
I didn't imagine that a dog that big would care about a dog so small. I've never seen a dog react to such a small dog in that way because he's not in any threat whatsoever. He's 17 pounds.
Okay, well, that's a ridiculous answer. That's a ridiculous answer. Absolutely, it's a ridiculous answer, Ms. Kirby. Is a thought process that sometimes not even humans get. What you're doing is you're ascribing to the dogs a human thought process. Why in the world would I start up with a big dog like a German Shepherd?
No.
I'm just a little dog. I'm just a pincher.
Oh.
That's ridiculous.
No, I'm talking about like the big dog. So like for me, example, I'm also roughly the same weight as Rocket, like about 120 pounds. If something approached me that was 17 pounds, why would I feel the need to try to kill it or pick it up and throw it around in its mouth? It's not...
I just said to you, you are ascribing to a dog a human's thought process.
And I'd never seen anything like that before.
Well, whether you've ever seen it, though, that's unfortunate.
For dogs.
That's unfortunate. She doesn't owe you any money at all. You took your dog, your 17-pound dog, on 10 play dates with a 120-pound dog without incident, and according to you, you had information before that that would have said to somebody, I'm not going to take my dog for another play date with this dog because it has vicious propensity. I wouldn't take my dogs off leash.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
Is that about basically right?
Well, there's a little more backstory to it, but basically...
You know, at my stage in life, I'm not so interested in other people's backstory. I hardly remember my own backstory.
Michelle Kirby says a German Shepherd, owned by former friend Niharika Vinod, attacked her miniature pinscher during a visit to a park.
I have a child who has 2 big dogs. They're wonderful, loving dogs. I have never seen them bite anybody. I have a new little dog, and I don't bring my new little dog to those dogs until I'm perfectly comfortable if they're off leash. Whether my little dog gets annoying, because sometimes they don't know that they're little. Little dogs don't know that they're little. Sometimes little dogs think they're huge, and sometimes big dogs think that they're lap dogs. Go on YouTube and look at the Great Dane that tries to snuzzle in with its owner on the couch because it thinks it's a lap dog. That's what happened. If you choose, you're the parent. Your pinscher is a toddler, if you choose to put your toddler at risk by taking your toddler to a playfield where there are teenagers, it's possible that when they're running and playing touch football, they're going to hurt the toddler. So I wouldn't take my toddler.
Here's like the example.
This isn't a conversation that we're having. You don't have a case. It was your
explain that.
You have
her dog was not healing when he attacked my dog and did not let my dog go.
We're done.
Your Honor.
We're done. You have no case against her. Goodbye. We're done. Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
Their dog approached our dog 3 times.
My dog barked at her dog?
We moved away about 25 to 30 feet away, but their dog continued to run towards us.
Then her dog picked up my dog in his mouth and shook him back and forth as if he were a rodent or prey that he was trying to kill.
Barking, lunging, and nipping the face.
When her dog finally did let go of my dog,
which is a clear indication of attack,
I had to pick him up and apply pressure to his wounds.
The big dogs are not always at fault,
so that he wouldn't bleed to death as we got to the vet.
They are not necessarily the primary aggressors in a situation.
He's okay today.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Giavelli versus Perkins. Step forward.
Lawrence Giavelli is suing his ex-girlfriend, Regina Perkins, for the return of a motorcycle she was storing for him.
Mr. Giavelli, this is an interesting case. According to your complaint, the defendant, who was a friend of yours, did you a favor. Back in 2010, you were for some reason moving from one place to another. You were sort of short on funds. You asked her if she could. She said, sure. And you said, well, when I get enough money to have it shipped to where I want it to go, I'll send you the money and you'll ship it. Well, it's now 3 years later, and you want your motorcycle. And Miss Perkins says you can have your motorcycle when you pay her storage fees for the motorcycle, because she only agreed to keep the motorcycle for 6 months. You didn't pick it up in 6 months, so she has chosen an arbitrary figure of $250 a month storage, so she's got a counterclaim for $5,000. Miss Perkins, in what city and state is this motorcycle?
Oxnard, California.
And where do you live, sir?
Brandywine, Maryland.
And you have his motorcycle?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you driven it over the last 3 years?
No, ma'am.
Was the story that I laid out when we started this approximately correct? 3 years ago, he left it there, wants it back, so you can have it back, pay the fees. Is that about basically right?
About basically right, yes, ma'am.
Well, there's a little more backstory to it, but yes, basically.
You know, at my stage in life, I'm not so interested in other people's backstory. I hardly remember my own backstory.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I have a picture of the bike right here.
I don't want to see it unless it's of a good-looking guy in a bathing suit. I am not interested.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Lawrence Giavelli says ex-girlfriend Regina Perkins won't return a motorcycle she is storing for him. Regina is countersuing for storage fees.
What year was this motorcycle?
That's 2001.
And when did you buy it?
2009.
Don't ask me, was that a question mark at the end?
2009, yes.
How much did you pay for it?
$1,500.
Was that a question mark?
No, it's $1,500, ma'am.
And you did not drive it over the last 3 years?
No, ma'am.
Anybody else drive it?
No, ma'am.
Great. So now you got an old motorcycle that's 12 years old that nobody has driven for 3 years, laying in a garage, that you think is worth as much today as it was when you bought it in 2009. I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from.
Well, I have a picture of the bike right here.
I don't want to see a picture unless it's of a good-looking guy in a bathing suit. I am not interested in a picture of your motorcycle. I just want to understand, your position is that this motorcycle that you bought in 2009 for $1,500 is worth the same today, despite the fact that nobody has started it, touched it, moved it, lionized it, or anything else for the past 3 years. I just want to know if that's your position. That requires a yes, or a no. Great. Ms. Perkins, did you have an agreement with Mr. Giavelli to pay you storage for the motorcycle?
No.
So you cannot create a contract because you decide to create a contract unilaterally.
Okay, the agreement was he could keep the bike there till August of 2011.
Great. And if that's your agreement, and if you took it to the dump after that, and treated it as abandoned property, if you could satisfy me that that was true, you would have been within your rights. You say he said he was going to keep it there till August. I kept it there. I notified him. I said, come and get your motorcycle or I'm throwing it in the garbage. And he didn't come. You could have thrown it away. Do you understand? But you can't create a contract with him. $250 is your arbitrary figure that you pulled out of thin air.
Actually, I called storage companies, and they gave me, I called 3 of them, and I got an average. That's how I got it. It wasn't just arbitrary out of my head.
Well, it is an arbitrary figure when you are creating a contract. So what I'm telling you is you could have thrown it away, but you tell me you didn't throw it away, that it's still sitting there.
Correct.
Great. Now, Mr. Giavelli, do you want your motorcycle back?
Yes, California.
Do you know what state your motorcycle is in?
California.
Go and get it.
Yes, ma'am.
And what are you going to do with it when you go and get it?
Take it back to Maryland.
Just for my own information, how do you propose to do that?
Have it shipped.
Have it shipped?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know how much that's going to cost?
About $700.
And you think the motorcycle is worth double that?
Yes, ma'am.
So it would be worthwhile for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
You have 24 hours to get your motorcycle. We will give you an order. You have the title. Go with the police to her garage and get your motorcycle.
I don't think that's fair, Your Honor, because out of respect, I didn't take it to the dump, and I took care of it for him for 3 years now. And I think I should be compensated for my time and effort and the things that it's cost me.
What have you done with the motorcycle over the last 3 years? You've already told me that nobody drove it.
Right. Out of respect for the gentleman and his property,
No,
I
just
didn't want
wanted to know
anything
this.
to happen to it.
You said cost time and effort and money. I just want you to tell me.
That's right. I have a picture of where it's stored.
Thrown it away.
When he left it, it leaked oil on my driveway.
24 hours, go and pick up your motorcycle.
Yes,
your counterclaim's dismissed.
You know, when I called the police, they told me I didn't have to give it to him because possession was 9/10 of the law.
Are you still talking? I'm not listening anymore.
Okay.
Bodies are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
That was an accident. Instead of reversing their boat, they suddenly accelerated. There are a lot of boats out there, and you don't know what in the world you're doing.
Next Judge Judy.
Out of respect, I didn't write it. I didn't use it. I took care of it as if it was my own.
We were friends and just had a falling out, and friendship's over, I guess.
He did send his son at one point, but that was 14 months after the agreement to come and get it.
I just waited for her to get off work, and she called the police and said that I'm stalking her.
The police told him I didn't have to give it to him because possession was 9/10 of the law.
He said, well, it's on her property, and if I try to get the bike, it's breaking and entering. And unless she brings it out onto the sidewalk, I can't get it.
If I had left my property with someone, I would want the same respect.
I am very glad to have my motorcycle. I feel complete now.
We believe that there...
You believe.
A first-time homebuyer has second thoughts.
Your family moved in and you started to have plumbing problems right away.
Right away. That's correct, Your Honor.
And thousands of dollars go down the drain.
This is not normal.
Did you have an inspection of the house before you purchased it?
I did, and they did not inspect the problem.
That would be your problem.
This is Judge Judy. 24-year-old Joshua Vasily is suing Nathaniel Combs for the fraudulent sale of a home.
Judge, this is case number 143 on the calendar in the matter of Vasily versus Combs. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated.
Thank you, Bert. Mr. Vasily, you and your family purchased a home from the defendant.
That's correct.
And you, at this point, want to stay in the home, but claim that he sold you a home that was defective to the extent that he was required to notify you of the defect. And so at this point, you want him to pay some of, if not all of, the expenses to fix the plumbing in the house. That's what your case is about.
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's somewhere
So I
around...
have a few. I didn't ask you. No, listen to me. I didn't ask you a question.
Absolutely.
Mr. Combs, when did you purchase your home, the home that you sold to him?
October of 2000. My wife and 2 kids.
How old are the children?
Now they're
4 and 8.
When did you sell the plaintiff the house?
I believe we closed on June 30th of 2020.
And when did you put the house up for sale?
I don't remember the exact date. It was approximately 2 months prior to the date it sold.
Okay. Just 1 second. What's the address of the house, sir?
Tanglewood.
And what city?
Tehachapi, California.
What did you pay for the house, Mr. Vasily?
I believe we paid $289.
Not believe.
Purchase price to be $290,000.
$280,000 what we ended up paying.
$280,000 is the final price that we ended up paying.
$280.
Yes, that's correct.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, it sold on 6/29, $220, according to Trustee Zillow.
$220,000, Your Honor, just to make sure.
Don't. What? 220.
Did you? I'm sorry, I did not hear. Was it 220,000 that Zillow reports?
No.
Okay.
I said
I apologize.
It closed on June 29th.
Got it. Understood.
And it was listed in May of 2020 for $295. So you bought it for $280. You bought it for $15,000. Correct, sir?
Yes, that's correct.
I don't want any editorializing.
Okay.
You bought it for $15,000 less than the ask.
Yes.
So that was a negotiated price.
Yes. There's a reason why it was $15,000 less. And it pertains to the case. Can I explain, or is this not a good time?
This would not be a good time.
Understood.
Who did you buy the house from?
I believe it was
Mr.
Nathaniel.
Combs?
Oh.
No, shut up. Who did you buy the house from, Mr. Combs?
I don't know the family that owned it prior to us, ma'am.
Well, the reason I'm asking is that it was sold prior to you purchasing it in November of 2017, because you were the immediate owner prior to this sale. You purchased the house for $242.
Yes, ma'am.
And the person that you bought it from only had the house for a few months, maybe 5 months. So they must have bought the house. No, actually, they listed it in February of 2016. Then they removed the listing. They finally sold it in April of 2016 because they upped the price and made a couple of bucks on it because they paid $217 and you bought it for $242. Did you move within the community?
No, we moved from out of town into Tehachapi.
No. When you sold, move within the same community?
No, we moved approximately 100 miles away.
After you sold the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, if you moved 100 miles away, your 8-year-old was in school.
The sale was during the summer. School was out.
The sale was done June 29th. The one who's 8, is that a boy?
My daughter. My daughter's 8. My son is 4.
So your daughter went to school. Now, did your daughter go to school at Tanglewood Drive?
Yes, she did.
That year?
Yes.
Until when?
I believe the school year ended early due to COVID. I do not remember the exact date.
Give me the month.
It was most likely May.
No, not most likely. I want you to think. You moved, which is an event, in June.
Yes, ma'am.
We're not talking so far away. We're talking about this year, 2020. You look like a relatively young man, so that your memory is probably much better than mine. And you only had one school-age child.
Yes.
One may have gone to preschool, but you only have one school-age child. What I want to know is when that school-age child stopped going to school from 13.
It would have been May.
And that would be the same month that you put the house on the market for sale.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you say you moved 100 miles away. Was that for business, pleasure?
Family.
Was that residence or rent?
I purchased.
And what was the close date of that purchase?
I believe it was...
Before or after you closed on this house?
It was after. I believe July 7th was the date we closed for our current home.
But you had seen that house before?
Yes.
On what date between June 29th of 2020 and July, when you moved into that house, where did you live?
My in-laws' house.
Were you at your in-laws' house prior to June 29th?
My family was. I was there cleaning up the house, getting ready to leave. My final day, I got a text message of my final day at the house with the date.
What was your final date at the house? Your final date. Then I'm going to find out when your family's final date was.
So that would have been June 28th was my final day in the house.
Okay. And when was your family, your wife and 2 children, when was their final day in the house?
That would be Friday, June 26th.
Did your wife and 2 children drive to your in-laws?
Yes, ma'am.
So the family has 2 cars?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right?
Yes.
So it is your testimony, and could be easily verified by both your in-laws and your wife, that your wife and 2 children lived in the house in 2017 until June 26th of 2020.
Yes, ma'am.
And that your 8-year-old daughter attended school there until the end of the school year in May of 2020.
Yes, ma'am.
All I can verify on the phone, so you wouldn't want to be embarrassed, right?
No, ma'am.
Your family moved in and you started to have plumbing problems right away.
Right away. That's correct, Your Honor. Can I explain the moving in process? It was a bit different. We had signed paperwork believing that the Combs were going to be living at the house 3 days after us getting the keys. After owning the house, the Combs were going to be living at the house for 3 days. We ended up making
They
plans.
asked for 3... Listen to me carefully.
Absolutely.
They asked for 3 days after the closing to get out.
That's correct, where they were going to pay rent.
After either 29th or... Just a second. They asked for 3 days.
Yes.
Through their lawyer. I assume they had a lawyer?
Through their real estate agent, yes. Those were the terms that we understood.
Did they do that in writing or verbally by their agent?
It was in writing once during the start of the process, and then verbally going forward, we continued to keep talking about it until we got the keys.
I only want to see the written.
Understood.
Mr. Vasily, when you say you talked, did you talk to the
real estate agent?
You can't tell me what that real estate agent said. That's hearsay. So then the only thing that I will look at is a writing, if you have a writing from the defendant or anyone acting on the defendant's behalf. That would be a real estate agent.
Ma'am?
What?
I do have
Just a second. I'm asking you, do you have that?
I believe that I do.
Something in writing?
Yes.
Well, then let's take a look at it.
We have our mediation, which has it, but let me see.
What mediation? Just a second.
Yeah, absolutely. We ended up going through mediation before going through the court process.
What mediation?
Mediation through a company called RERM. That's what I know it as. It was a real estate. They were trying to get us so we didn't have to go to court, essentially, where we exchanged messages between one another. And in that I outlined
Just 1 second. Did that mediation have a negative result?
Yes, it did. The Combs did not reply during...
Don't just answer my question.
Okay.
Is that the reason why you filed this case?
Yes.
Because the mediation did not have... Okay.
We did not
get
help.
So now all I want to see is that help is not the question. So when you buy a house, you usually have... And anything that you find later, unless there is intentional fraud...
We believe that there was intentional fraud.
Listen to me.
Yes,
I
Your Honor.
don't care what you believe.
Okay.
I read your complaint.
Sure.
And your complaint alleges, just pay attention before you respond. Your case alleges that no person or family could have lived in that house in the condition that it was. That's what you allege in here. There is no way. Well, you see, I've just asked a series of questions of the defendant. And the series of questions were, and they can be probably verified by a quick call to his in-laws who have absolutely no knowledge of what we're talking about today, when his wife came, when their daughter came with their 2 children. And if his wife and 2 children arrived at her family's house on June 26th from their house, and your allegation is no person could have lived in the house because of the condition of the plumbing, that would not be true. Do you understand that?
I understand that.
I'm just asking you if you understand
I understand.
it. Fine.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you had an incomplete inspection report, you had the right to request a more complete inspection report. Do you understand?
No, I don't.
Problem.
Joshua Vasily claims Nathaniel Combs sold him a house without disclosing its plumbing problems.
Now, sometimes, you have certain problems in the house, little problems in the house, and what you're hoping for is that it passes an inspection unless they purposefully misrepresented it to you in a written document, and then you can produce witnesses. So
I believe that did happen.
If it did happen, I'm more than prepared to look at it, sir. But certainly the part of your statement is that no one could have lived there
under
is
normal
inaccurate.
circumstances. No,
I don't
under
care
normal circumstances.
I don't care. No.
Okay.
When you have a family of 4 living in an 1,800 square foot house that uses the plumbing, and what you're saying is that the plumbing backed up, what I'm telling you is,
Your Honor, I'm so sorry. Your Honor, the cause of the issue was running a washer. Running a washer 3 days after owning the house created a load on the system, and I have a witness, which was my plumber, who is a professional, who will tell you what the cause of the...
Listen, I'm prepared to listen to your witness. I'm telling you.
Yes.
Did you have an inspection of the house before you purchased it?
I did, and they did not inspect the problem.
Of course. Just a second.
Yes.
That would be your problem.
Okay.
That would be your problem.
But it said here, it's what the cause of the issue is beyond this. They didn't test the washer, which caused the issue. The washer and dryer was not tested beyond the scope of the inspection as per the standards and practice set forth by the California Real Estate Inspection Association. I think that under any circumstance, that if somebody was living at this property and did not want to deceive someone, they would say that they had issues with the plumbing, the issues that we had immediately when buying the house. We ran a washer which put 230 gallons worth of water in our system, blew it back, and there was no way to remove that water until I think that if we waited and it finally left the system, or a professional removed the issue. What ended up happening was...
No, listen to me.
Absolutely.
Sir, your washer backed up the first time you used it 3 days after you moved in.
Yes, that's correct.
I mean... That's what you're telling me.
Not exactly.
And I'm telling you that's not his...
It is his problem. And
more than happy to hear your witness.
Okay.
I heard you. I understand the problem. Now I have to see whether...
Well, I don't think that I did explain that...
Mr. Vasili.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Vasili.
Yes, Your Honor.
What I'm telling you is you had the right to inspect the property.
Which I did.
You got an... This is a statement. It's not a question.
Okay.
You had the right to inspect the property. If you had an incomplete inspection report, you had the right to request a more complete inspection report. Do you understand? If you...
No, I don't, because I had to pay more for that.
Well, then that's your problem.
Well, I don't think so, because I agreed to a house.
You just keep hurting yourself by, volunteering information.
Well, not exactly, no. I agreed to the normal inspection. This is not normal.
Mr. Vasili, because you insist upon speaking, you just hurt your own case.
How so?
If I buy a house, I'm going to answer you, and you can be as wide-eyed as you like.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So it was my fault that I didn't purchase a deeper inspection? It was my fault that I didn't inspect the washer line?
Yes.
Okay. It was... Okay.
Yes.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Joshua Vasili is accusing Nathaniel Combs of defrauding him on the sale of a house.
Now, when I buy homes, I can have a cursory inspection, people looking in, turning on the faucet, turning on the lights.
How many homes, how many times have you bought in a house?
How many times have I bought a house? Probably 30.
Okay, this is my first time?
Probably. Judge, that's not his fault.
I understand that, but I also understand that I was going to be buying a house that could be lived in, that under normal circumstances you can use.
Mr. Vasili, you just keep talking. You keep saying you understand. You don't understand.
Okay.
This is your first house. I get that.
Okay.
Next time you buy a house, don't answer me. Just listen. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Just listen to what I'm saying to you. Maybe if you listen, you'll learn something. When you buy a house, you have the right to have an inspection of many things. And if you had the right to spend more money, which is what you told me, and get a more in-depth inspection, and you chose not to do it. Just a second. I don't care what you believe.
Okay. But
I don't care. It's irrelevant to the law what you believe, Mr. Vasily.
Okay.
It's irrelevant what you believe. What I'm telling you is the law.
So it was my fault that I didn't purchase a deeper inspection when the inspection already had passed. It was my fault that I didn't inspect the washer line. It was my fault that I didn't inspect where the...
Yes. Yes.
Okay. It was... Okay.
Yes, 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 and yes.
Understood.
It's your fault. It's your fault. When you have a car and you choose not to have collision insurance when you could have had collision insurance,
But
and you
this
have
isn't
an
a car,
accident,
Your Honor.
Ears, mouth.
Sure, absolutely.
Ears, mouth. Absolutely and understood. Not only absolutely, but absolutely and understood.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, now, what I'm telling you, sir, is I feel sorry for you that you and your family had a problem when you moved into the house. Fixed.
$6,500.
Buying a house. I'm not. That's too bad. What I'm telling you is I feel sorry for you that you have to spend that extra money when the washing machine backed up. I feel sorry for you, but ears, mouth. You have the right to have an inspection. If you could establish to me that, because one of the things you said was it was a flagrant fraud because there was no family that could have lived in that house
under normal conditions without running the washer.
Okay. Okay, your case is dismissed. We're done here. It's impossible to deal with him. You fixed the plumbing. I hope you and your family are happy. We're done. Thank you.
Your Honor, can I understand what I did wrong?
I just tried to tell you, but you refused to listen.
I don't
and
understand.
If you refuse to listen, let me tell you what. Then we'll provide you with a tape when you go outside so you can listen to what I said as many times as you like. Right now, or we're done. And what part of we're done don't we understand?
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy, after a death in the family, a tug of war.
Your mother signed a document that you should have the car. What your sister did was pull a fast one.
Next.
I think that I needed to be heard a little bit more.
I thought it was phenomenal.
A general inspection didn't cover the problems that we ended up having.
They did do a full inspection, and in the inspection it says the washer drain was acceptable.
Just terrible. It was horrible. A sewage going into the hallway and the master bedroom.
According to the documentation they provided, a toilet backed up.
I have to pay